It didn't feel right.
Okay, so we're running a little bit behind. Apologies for that. But this is our usually weekly game of Dungeons and Dragons.
I wish we had that on camera.
Me too. I don't know what that was.
What just happened?
That's him trying the...
Holy shit.
Okay. I'm going to regret this.
Oh! Wow!
It's really good.
I'm going to take one sip and be up until
That's,
like 3 o'clock.
That just climbed the ranks of, like, best Mountain Dew I've had.
We are totally not sponsored by Mountain Dew, but...
Please!
That doesn't suck. Wow. Like that's...
And this is Mountain Dew if you're out there and you want to.
So again,
That
we are
doesn't
not
suck.
sponsored. These are unvarnished opinions about the
Well,
about this
Mountain
what we
Dew.
have at the table.
Hello, welcome back to Mountain D and Dew.
So, you want to give me a sec, even though we're not sponsored, maybe
Dew, huh?
maybe this will help us get sponsored. Thrashed Apple Mountain Dew, available at your local Kroger's outlet. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
And only at Kroger's because apparently they like it, have an exclusive right
Yep.
to it.
Oh,
is
and
it gonna be
Stephen,
permanent
would
now,
you
or-
Stephen, would you like to give us a rundown for Chipper of all of the snacks that we have at our
Happily. So in honor of Chipper's
recent
male
visit?
and female.
The Mr. and Mrs. Chipper.
There you go. That's a better way to put that. We have a table
Now we
full of
bring
snacks.
snacks.
We have fruit slices, things. We have vegetable chips, like a sort of healthy-ish snack. Probably minus the sodium. I haven't actually looked at that.
It's
But-
for Danny.
And for me. And donuts. And honeycomb milk chocolate something or another. And lemonade
Lemonade
rings. That
I wanna try one of those
again
one
have
day.
no idea. They looked interesting. And Mountain Dew thrashed apple. Not
Again,
sponsored.
not sponsored. But
We brought them just for you, Chipper.
yes.
We're a little late.
Yeah, he's only about a week or so late with those. Sorry about that. Daniel asks if there's any unicorn flavored snacks.
I feel like the
No.
lemonade
These
rings
ones are
are
kind of-
probably...
Unicorn color,
Yeah.
not flavor. Well,
I don't
I've
know.
never
Oh
licked
my
a
gosh, there's a
unicorn.
wiki.
Yeah, how do
For
unicorns
Thrash Apple,
taste?
there's a wiki.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna snag this back before it gets completely off the rails.
Good
And
luck
out of
with
It's
that.
hand.
permanent.
I know.
It was a
So,
unicorn
this
face.
is Casual Cactus. You are watching the Glass Breakers Guild, and you are watching us go completely off the rails. We are just a bunch of friends who get together and have fun and play D&D, and sometimes, occasionally, we will play other games if warranted. But tonight we're going to do our best on D&D, even though we are short a couple of players. Nate, as you guys may or may not know, is out of the country working, so he is going to be away for several months. We will be very, very much looking forward to having him back at the table when he gets here. Kyrie is out this evening, and Nat has a fussy toddler at home, so she is staying home with Erin to give her love and comfort. So there are only 4 people at the table tonight, and while that's odd for us, well, 5 counting me, but 4 players at the table, and while that's odd for this group, this is the normal size of a D&D
Wow, this is a
game.
normal size. Oh no.
So
The heck happens?
we don't know how to react with that. We don't know how to respond to that. So
When
we're
was the
going to
last
do our best.
time we did
Like
a D&D session with just 4. I think it was when the pet heist from our mini sessions, right?
Yep.
yeah, probably so. So anyway, we're going to we're going to soldier on and see what happens. In that sort of vein, does anyone want to give a recap of what happened last week?
I brought treats. I don't have to do a recap.
I'll do it.
Oh, I have it. I also, yeah. I've
Well,
got
you can
this.
give me reminders of things I missed.
Okay, go for it.
Keith, which one do you want me to send your way first?
Of what?
The snacks.
I mean,
One
I
made it
have.
down.
Yeah, one made it down.
Maybe we just circle them around.
Sure.
We'll see what
Calm
happens.
down.
There you go.
You get to watch
Alright.
us eat, guys.
So who's doing the?
I'll do the
food
recap
stream.
and have a little bit of help. Well, give me a minute.
No.
So last week we started the session with being surrounded by kobolds.
Shut up.
Yeah.
There it is. It's been a while.
Well,
Yep.
welcome
Many
back
times.
to Glassbreakers Bingo. If you have someone has their sound on, click that off.
Totally have. Never mind.
We'll
That's
make
a
one.
project for
We'll
later.
make one.
In case you
Glassbreakers
guys can't
bingo.
tell, it's gonna be a very interesting night tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I love how you couldn't you didn't get to him in time. So last time,
If you have the DM hits the wrong button, scratch that one off your bingo card.
Snacks? Non-sponsored, sponsored material?
hey, but they can't cross off starting the stream with no sound. So missed out on that one.
Well,
So
I
that
say
bingo
that.
card is gone.
Yeah. Okay. We do actually have sound.
Keith,
Woo!
we heard ourselves through Steven's phone.
Which counteracts the tick from the bingo card.
Good point.
Anyway, we spoke with some kobolds. We spoke with some kobolds and learned a few more things. We found out that the elemental shards that are scattered around the world once were whole and was a draconic god of creation that got swapped with our god of balance. And these group of kobolds were followers of the god of creation that crumbled, and they're trying to bring them back. And all of the other kobolds that we have encountered have been ones that are working for the god of destruction and ensuring that the god of creation does not return. Spoke with them a couple of other things, found out that none of the gods or any magic of our world can see or sense any of them. And a few more other things we learned. Kind of a lot happened while we were waiting for Lance to come back.
Mostly because we were waiting for Lance.
The kobolds are basically making a mechanical dragon that can burrow through the ground so they can find one of these shards that we are heading towards. After discussing with them, they hid their location and we continued onward. As we progressed through the day, Castian's character became more and more unhinged to the point where he attacked one of the NPCs and we had to tie him up. And then we spent most of the rest of the episode just saying our goodbyes to Castian's character for now, as Nate, who was playing Castian, is working overseas. So, very sad times. We hope you return, Nate. Other than that, that was the fourth day of our 11-day journey, and our fourth episode. So we've been averaging about a day of travel per session. So don't expect anything less from us.
More.
And I think that's
Yeah,
where
I think
we
that
should
don't
leave
expect
it
anything
off.
more from us.
Don't expect anything more.
Don't expect anything more. That should be our tagline.
This is what you're getting. Sorry.
Yeah, I just have the much
Glassbreakers
longer, more
Guild, don't
sarcastic
expect
version
anything
of
more.
that, so,
Oh.
yeah.
Glassbreakers, don't expect anything more than a bag full of sharded glass.
Oh.
And also, I got a letter from
We
found
sent
a
right.
bag.
we sent Castian with Fabricia and her group, and Fabricia stole a kiss from Mizuki and then left. So that did happen.
Yes, that did happen. All right. So, Simi, you got a letter. You got a note from Mao. Okay.
I'm not gonna mention it for a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna be eyeballing him as we get our stuff together in the morning. And I'll wait until we kind of embark to address him about it.
Okay.
When I can kind of walk a little farther off.
So what are you guys doing to sort of get ready for the day? Anything special? Anything unique? Anything?
Well, I assume Mizuki will make breakfast for us with her spell.
Yeah, she will, in fact,
Make us
do
some-
that.
Munchies.
Ow!
You bite your nose?
Yep.
Oh.
Maybe you shouldn't get your nose that close to it.
I was about to say, I mean, I kind of feel like if you stick it in his mouth,
Yeah, I'm not blaming him.
Not bad.
he wants snacks too.
Somebody give me a D20 roll.
Oh, right, my D&D stuff.
16.
16. Okay. As Mizuki casts her spell for the day to create food for you guys, it comes out as cucumber sticks with sour cream and pressed hummus for dipping.
Oh, that's actually really. That
That's not
sounds
really,
really
great
good.
travel food.
Nope.
But,
You get what you get.
yep, Vanas has blessed us and we shut up about it.
I saved that clip from last week. Of just her calling down lightning on us and just being like, "Can you put her to sleep?" So she doesn't keep calling on the gods to strike us down.
Over here.
In
So
the
many
second.
snacks.
So many snacks, yes.
Snacks.
Okay.
That
Anything
would help
else
me out
in
from there.
particular? If not,
I can't think of anything.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it wasn't actually said explicitly because it was sort of like an interplayer interaction, I think, between Danny and Natalie. Cabbage was playing with the 360-degree
oh,
vision helmet.
Oh, okay.
okay,
That
Oh
must
yeah, I
be
forgot about that.
disorienting.
okay.
That would be really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how much I like that.
But I imagine it's like the guy who trained his eyes to look upside down. He would wear these like goggles that would like make his vision look like upside down. But eventually his vision switched, so when he was looking through the
Yeah,
glasses,
his
it
brain.
looked normal.
Huh.
But when he took the glasses off, it was flipped again, and then he had to wait like another couple of weeks for it to hit back. But he does occasionally have spells where his vision will just flip on him.
Very, very weird.
That is.
The more you know. Brain
Indeed.
facts.
So she's playing with her helmet, and
Thank you, Poser.
thank you, Poser. So Cabbage is playing with her helmet. Mizuki, after fixing you guys some road snacks, is kind of quiet, maybe withdrawn into herself, thinking a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of redirect Cabbage anytime it looks like she's gonna run into a tree because she's disoriented or anything. I'm just gonna like.
Not many trees, I don't imagine, in the plains.
Oh, that's
No,
fair. Never
not
mind.
so many.
Yeah, yeah.
Although it looks like another day or so we'll hit the river again, and then
So,
some trees.
Don't fall.
so which
into
direction are
this
you guys headed?
We are headed to the road.
Headed for the road. Okay. So are you going straight to the road, or are you going to kind of bend
Angle it.
angle it a little bit? Okay.
So that we hit kind of that.
So
Fjord right
kind of
there?
like right
Yeah.
in there.
So that we're still making some forward progress.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. The day's travel is fairly uneventful. The weather does start turning off colder as the day goes on, and you are seeing what looks to be storm clouds building in from the prevailing direction where weather comes from. So, those of you who are
Keith, what is the prevailing direction that weather comes from?
from the west,
Okay.
Because there's mountains to the east. And that
Well,
would
there's
block wind.
mountains. There's mountains all around you guys. These are coming in over the mountains to the west. And those of you who are familiar with the area, which is mostly everybody.
Only him.
Oh,
Everybody else is transplants.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Mizu, I came from the capital. He came from. She came from the capital.
In that case,
He came from a different mountain range.
Cabbage would know if she wasn't, playing with her fishbowl helmet.
I just redirect her to walk with the group.
That's pretty indicative of a very severe winter storm building in.
Woo.
Grand.
So, yeah, you're going to want to find someplace nice and sheltered for this evening.
Well, I guess I'll better start keeping my eye out.
Yeah, I'll help scout around for it.
Mal is going to try to keep an eye out specifically for places where he imagines that his folk would build into. Being as this was like dwarven territory,
Right.
he's going to look for places that like he figures he would build into, so likely other dwarves would have built into as well.
Okay. So the three of you guys, let's see. Let me think. Killian and Simi make me survival checks.
Mine's not great.
And Mal can make me either survival or history.
Okay.
If you do history, we'll say it's at advantage because you're calling on your ancestral knowledge.
Okay.
Unnatural 20.
Nice.
I mean, it's either a +1 or a +0, so...
21.
Also nice.
Me and Inger will scan around just to make
Okay.
sure there's nothing around us.
18.
18?
Yeah.
History, by the way.
Okay.
I like these.
Me too. I approve.
11 for both me and Inger. I rolled an 11. So.
Okay, not as good. Not terrible, but not as good.
You foibled worse?
What?
That's not quite how that was supposed to come out.
I English well.
Fumbled worse.
I don't even have my...
Well, here's one.
Okay, there's one, but where's the other one?
I don't know what the other one is, but I have an extra.
Got it.
Okay, cool.
Ah.
Which I guess should be you guys' reminder to divvy those up if you haven't already.
I already have them.
I just didn't have mine. My inspiration tokens. Okay. For the first part of the day, first half of the day or so, there's not a lot in the way of sheltered areas for you guys to find. It is, open grassland for the most part, trending downhill towards the road, the lake, and the river. That's ahead of you. Towards the middle part to the sort of last half of the day, you do find that you start to get into it. It doesn't go up so much as there start to be more spots where it goes down towards the water. So places where it's been washed and ravines have started forming. In a few of those, you guys find spots that look like they might be pretty well sheltered from a storm blowing in from the west. Mal, you do notice a couple of spots where it looks like something was worked at some point but has since sort of been washed away and eroded. But you're sort of on the right track for finding places that you can hole up.
Okay.
It's a little bit early in the day when you guys finally find sort of a spot that looks like, okay, this would be a good spot. And Mal, you notice that there are signs that it was dug in by dwarves at one point, and it looks like it might have at one point had a had a structure on the front to close it in, but that has since fallen away. So it's fairly regular. I mean, it's not like finished, but it's fairly regular, almost rectangular, but not quite finished off.
Looks like somebody did a good chunk of the work for us already here. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Sure.
Should we try to dig in any further? Give ourselves some more room?
Is there enough places to like set up like a tent or something?
Oh yeah, I mean the ceilings here are. It's a little tight for you full size people. For the dwarf, it's fine. They're about 7 to 8 feet tall. It goes back into sort of the bluff side, about 30 feet or so, and it's about 10 to 15 feet wide.
Yeah.
It sort of looks out over the lake down below you guys. All the way at the very back in one of the corners, there's actually what looks to be sort of a smoke hole that goes up and turns a corner, so that you can't see all the way out. But you assume that it probably goes a little bit further up. There's obvious, soot stains, old ones, but obvious soot stains that this was used as a fire spot.
Alright, so if one of you wants to start a fire underneath this, or you do a fire thing kind of like Castian did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do a fire thing up this? I'll go up top and find where it connects, because I don't want to smoke ourselves out if it's covered by snow.
It's fair.
Sure. I will go ahead and put together a little
And
bundle
yeah,
of
if you
my
want to,
Okay.
and I'll make like a stew or something.
Okay. And I'll go up top and see if I can find where that hole exits,
Okay.
so that I can clear it.
So make me an investigation check or survival, depending whichever you would prefer to use.
Well, I'm actually proficient in survival, even though it's a negative. Yeah, I'm not gonna find that.
Oh, wow.
That's 2 total.
Okay.
And so the world is brought back into balance. Things are as they should be.
It must be blocked up. So you start sort of you grab a tree branch and start poking down through the snow, and you keep hitting just bare dirt underneath the snow, and you can't find it. You have no idea where this thing comes out. For those of you in the shelter, the smoke gets lifted up and sucked out and does not back up into the cavern. So clearly it's getting through somewhere,
Cool.
but
After a while, the wood panels come back in. I got nothing, and it looks like I don't need to keep looking.
I mean, do you want to go back out and keep looking?
I mean, no.
Okay.
We should just be cautious when we camp here to make sure that nothing ends up, if there's a big storm overhead, it could feasibly end up, if it
Fill that hole.
fill that hole faster than it can melt it away. So it's worth keeping eyes open for it when you're on watches. But for right now, we're probably okay here.
Also, I will ask Mizuki to start working on those mithril scale things for my mask.
okay. It is going to take her some time, but
Right.
she will focus on that for you, since
I'll
she
just-
has
I'll
already
just
said she
put
was
that
going
1
to.
hour. It's going to take 3 hours to do it, so I'll put 1 hour down so far. I'm not going to have her do it on like one session, but
Okay.
throughout multiple days of travel.
You're so cute.
Over the, or not over, I suppose, under the cover of Mizuki making this and whatnot, I'm gonna pull Mal kind of off to one side, just kind of head nod him. Was that the truth this time?
None of it's verifiable, so I'm gonna say yes, but
Look me in the eyes and tell me, is that the truth this time?
That is the truth.
I'm going to roll an insight.
So I can roll.
You can roll whatever you want to roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So that is a 17, I think? Where's my insight score? Yes, 17.
Okay. Well, you got me beat. Mal is trying to be forthright, although he's definitely still nervous about talking about the whole thing.
I am going to believe you. Yeah, don't look at me in that tone of voice. You lost the right to be able to do that.
I didn't say a word.
I don't know if it is wise for me to believe you, but I do, nonetheless.
You poor thing.
You're not helping yourself much. Maybe dial it down a bit. If you're gonna,
Bring your Steven level down to like a 6 instead of like an 8.
if you're going to decide that, we should all be lied to, maybe the snark is unnecessary in the follow-up.
I did apologize for the lie. I have not told anyone else what happened. And under other circumstances, I would not have told you. My parents don't know. My siblings don't know.
So the whole heroics thing, is that to try and make good?
My family sees me as a hero. I fixed the problem. But I'm not. So I'm going to work to become what they see me as. So that I can finally look them in the eye again.
Well, you impressed your son at least.
Yeah.
Isn't my fictional character such a good guy?
No.
Seems pretty questionable.
He's trying. He is not a good person, though.
So...
Take a number.
So what is it going to take for you to... What in your mind defines that line that you need to cross?
I figure I'll know when I get there. I'm not there yet, for sure.
That's fair, and I don't necessarily disagree. And I think that it's good that you're trying to do better than you did then. But you also know no matter how this goes, there's going to be another side to it that makes us look like villains, right?
Everything's a matter of perspective, but until my perspective is such that I've done what I need to.
And I do think that there is a right and wrong thing to do and a right and wrong side to be on, but I just... Well, thank you for telling me. And if I find out that you're lying again to me, I might murder you in your sleep. Just tossing that out there.
My shadows might kill you back, it's fine.
Yeah, how does that whole thing work?
Not like that. Not at all like that, actually, but...
Well, I didn't mean the kill me back thing, but like as far as like, is what kind of magic is that?
It's not magic. I told you before,
Thank you.
it's something that my family does. It's hereditary. It's a bit of cognitive... I guess it's a cognitive impression upon the world.
So your brain inflicts its shadow on others as a defense mechanism when it's convenient.
When I want it to.
Which is usually when it's convenient, I imagine.
I mean...
Need help in a fight? Stabby stabby. Need something to slip ahead of you so you can keep up with people? Bada boom. It's a convenience thing.
I suppose. It's a tool.
That's just weird.
And it takes 10 heartbeats to set up.
Nope, it takes a bonus action. Less than 6 seconds.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, I won't pry beyond what you've already told me.
It is the whole of it. I would appreciate it if you would keep it between us. And considering your predisposition to not want to deal with my people's customs, I will not challenge you here and now.
Wait, come again? Not wanting to deal with your people's... Is this referring back to the slavery conversation? You're not challenging me here and now. Are you implying that you're challenging me somewhere else and later?
I mean, potentially, that would be pretty customary in a situation like this where you have information about myself that would be... What?
This is just exciting.
That I would want to be able to tell you to keep secret.
I'm not making it out of this cave today.
So you told me a thing, knowing that you would want to potentially enslave me for knowing the thing?
Your definition of slavery is not the same as mine.
No, I already gave you one for the conversation. No,
Having
you
to
keep
do
your
the
one.
thing because someone else is forcing you to do the thing because they in some way own a part of your life is slavery, right?
In a sense.
We're being employed.
But you have such a negative connotation that is attached to the word that is not the same as myself.
Do you not imagine that the people on the other end of that might also have the same negative feelings about it?
No, of course not. I mean, all of us have been a slave to one another at some point in our lives.
What the hell weird kind of place did you grow up?
It provides a level of protection because nobody wants to step foul of anyone else.
I have a question.
Good thing you're not there.
I was gonna say, where is this conversation taking place, and how loud or obvious is it that something is going on with you two?
I mean, it's probably pretty obvious.
Because that went from like a real nice quiet to like, what? So I'm just wondering.
Yeah, me being
This would be a very interesting conversation to be part of.
Yeah, my interesting charisma score probably means that I just got really loud without thinking about it.
Ooh, that's a good question, Keith. Let me look that up. Barely double digits.
In other words, not good.
So agency is not something that you guys particularly value?
Everyone has agency. And he's like trying to bring the conversation level down, especially if he notices anybody else having interest.
I'm sure...
With her outburst, Killian is kind of like looking across the cave at you guys, just like...
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing where it's just like, if she kind of just like was like being a bit loud and whatnot, I probably would have like looked in that direction, so...
Sorry. But they don't get a choice in being slaves or not.
Of course they do.
Who signs up to...
Sneak? Just like,
I don't understand.
That is fairly clear. Not your fault, of course. That's not your culture. But it is fairly clear that you don't understand.
So they voluntarily... Wow, let me try that again. Voluntarily sign up to be your slave somewhere? Like what?
No, they lose a challenge.
But do they get a choice in accepting the challenge or not? Do they get a choice in whether or not they accept the challenge?
Yeah.
And if they don't accept the challenge,
Then
then
they forfeit the challenge.
and then they're just not slaves, right? You don't.
No.
So they don't have a choice.
Everyone has a choice.
If you challenge, say me, and we'll say that I am a lesser combatant than you, is it my choice to lose that challenge?
It's not a matter of choice. You then take on my protection, which I, as the slave owner, would have to provide you. In return, you would provide the things that I ask. Come visit sometime. It'll be easier to understand in person.
Still kind of seems to me like the person that loses the challenge, if they don't get a say in whether they fight or not, without.
They do.
Well, if you say I don't want to fight and you forfeit, and that just ends up with you being in a situation where you're still enslaved, that's not that doesn't sound like a choice to me.
It is. They could also choose to leave. I did.
So you left to not be a slave?
No. I left to make my way in the world. I'm not the only one to have done so. Now, typically, one would need permission of their master to do so, but
it's really pushing my understanding of how pushing my understanding of how this whole agency thing works. I like
you're also
the...
free to not listen to someone who tells you what to do. Excuse me, it's not necessarily, it's looked poorly upon, but...
So there's no real punishment for not doing as you're told by your owner?
Not typically, because they, in turn, are typically owned by someone else, so...
What?
And tables could turn. Everyone does their best to be good to one another, because they could, in turn, be taken into slavery themselves. Alexander.
My goodness, you're so wiggly. You're such a wiggly boy.
What?
I'm gonna have to process this for a bit. My brain hurts now.
Hang on. What?
Sorry, did you need something?
Make perception checks.
I just saw you all conspiring over there.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
make perception checks.
really, make perception checks.
It's high. 24?
Minus 2.
How long have you been there, Inger?
He doesn't move.
I see you. How long have you been there?
He'll turn invisible.
I saw you.
Probably should have started with that.
Oh, he didn't leave.
Oh,
He's
I
just
know.
invisible.
Anyway, do you need something?
How much of that did you hear, Milo?
About what? Here? Hear what?
Wait, what were you listening to?
I wasn't listening to anything.
I'm going to step out of the cave. And go do a quick search around.
I'm going to like
When you cross the entrance, my
Milo.
alarm spell goes off and notifies everyone.
I'm just gonna like come over, put my arm around Milo, and pull him into a little headlock.
Remember,
Like-
he's fragile and turns into ice.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Only when it gets eaten.
So, how much of that did you hear?
Hear of what?
Was not born yesterday.
I'm not saying that you were. I'm legitimately asking what are you talking about?
I would be
Conversation.
interested to know this too, and as I come up, I'm going to try and subtly cast Bless on Milo.
Roll perception.
What am I rolling?
Either deception or sleight of hand.
That would be 25.
Balls.
I think you're probably gonna fail.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's casting some kind of spell for that is aimed at Milo.
Excuse you.
What?
Saw
Yes,
that.
excuse you.
Yes, I'm trying to prompt him to tell the truth.
You're also full of shit.
I am well, I was trying to be subtle about it, but yes, I'm trying to cast a spell on him to make him tell us the truth because you want to interrogate him.
Roll your insight. Roll your bullshittery.
Oh, dang it. That's the first, single digit I've rolled all night.
Okay. Okay.
So that's going to be 13?
19.
Oh. Okay, fine.
Well, it's not going to work now. He knows. That's why I was trying to be subtle about it.
Subtlety is a thing we're all
Anyway,
really
maybe
good
you
at.
should, answer her
Yeah,
questions.
Yeah. Inger was clearly there, so I know that you know, because he does his weird little crayon drawing brain thing to you.
I don't have that much control over Inger, and I have no idea what he was doing over there.
Insight.
Deception.
Oh no!
You get a D4. I don't know if what he's saying is true, but I have seen Ingir do some.
My D4 stuck.
You beat me.
I have seen Ingir.
Yeah, but I want to know how high I can roll.
I have seen Ingir do some questionable things, like trying to break ice with a little tiny rock. I don't.
That seems in line with my own though.
You need assistance.
So I don't know. Maybe
Okay,
there's some truth to what he's saying. So take advantage. Milo, take advantage. I'm trying to assist you.
You beat me the first go round anyway.
30.
That's
Okay. So you don't have that much control. Inger!
Stay hidden, buddy.
I think maybe the little lizard thing is scared of you.
As are we all.
Subtly in me and you's mind, we see like a crayon drawing of her beating the shit out of a dead corpse.
It's fair.
But only in you
It's
and
fair.
my mind.
Fine.
I'll have a talk with him when he returns.
From right there.
I promise.
Oh no, I believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh, good. I mean...
30.
Inger, if there's something that he doesn't know that is clearly not something that should be public knowledge, don't.
Are you going to try and intimidate my dragon?
Sure.
She announces to the cave walls.
Go for it.
What's my intimidation? I don't think I'm. Oh, it's a -1. That's a 2.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Ingir's not afraid of you. He can fly.
I'm a monk. I'll figure it out someday.
Just stays 10 feet up.
I'll just get
15.
Really,
The
so
tentacles
good
have
at
range.
parkour. Oh yeah, that's right. Grab it out of the air like a bird.
Run, Ingir, run!
Are there any tracks? So he's looking sort of specifically for game. Where's the game in the area
Okay.
hiding out from the storm?
Oh, I do have alarm at the entrance to the cave. But
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have gone off.
So make me a survival check.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Strangely enough, there's not a lot of animal tracks around.
Okay. So once he's done sort of a perimeter search and sort of checked for that, he'll head back inside.
Now, you do notice that in the fading daylight, it does appear as though the storm clouds are getting closer. You're having a hard time sort of seeing out across the lake to the hills on the far side. It's starting to sort of mist in and fade into the gloom of the evening.
At a guess, how long do we have before it hits? Like, is there like a significant wind presence or?
Not yet. You figure you've probably got about an hour at most,
Okay,
which would be right about sundown anyway.
gotcha. Okay, let's step back in. Storm's getting close. We might want to figure out a way to cover our entrance here.
Do we have anyone have a tarp?
Well, we have the makings of several tents, so we can makeshift
True.
something toward the front.
Keith,
Yes.
with my carpenter's tools,
Yeah.
how long would it take for me to, cut down some branches and create like a makeshift?
I mean, frankly, we could use the snow.
Also true.
True.
We could just
Yeah.
do it ourselves.
Most of the vegetation around here is actually it's not tall. It's sort of scrub. It wouldn't take much to like pile that in front of the opening. It's not going to have any sort of structural whatever to it at all, but
We could use that as a
wouldn't-
basic structure for the snow, though.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
I don't either. Now I could dig us further in, but I think our best bet is to.
Well, if we have a fire and we all sleep in tents, I think we'll be fine.
I'd still prefer to cover ourselves in. We have access here to air. I think we should try to close it in as best we can. It might mean more work to get out come morning, but I think it's worth our time.
If we have some blankets, we can just put like a rope across and then just put the blankets over.
Not heavy enough for a real storm.
I wouldn't rocks at the bottom.
I mean, potentially. I think we could build this in pretty easy, especially with the brush from
Do we
around.
have an hour before it gets here?
Yeah, roughly an hour, 45 minutes maybe. It shouldn't take us that long to build in a
Can
smaller
Mizuki
shelter.
make us a tarp?
Not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keith,
Yeah.
how much gold would a door and door frame cost?
I mean, you want a metal door and door
Nope.
frame?
Nope, it can be made of wood. It just has to have metal fittings.
Is that the way that works?
That is, it says that it
Yeah.
has to have metal components. It does not say it has to be made of all metal. So unless you would like to use your DM fiat to change that,
I think I'm going to, because that otherwise feels a little broken.
So, yeah. I mean, if you just want to grab some brush, I'll start building in the snow.
There's the forge. I already did it.
Okay. I guess I'll just find some rocks and just like put it along the edge, just kind of make like as much of a high as a wall as I can, at least to start with.
Yeah.
How,
That'll actually help, like if we use that to back my snow structure.
Well,
Yeah, it's a very open to interpretation class. It is entirely up to the DM on what you will allow.
okay.
it's one of those abilities that's just ripe for abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But lucky, Kyrie has very good morals to not abuse it. We just abuse her to abuse it. Not physically, but we're just like, hey, Kyrie.
Oh, because it's okay if we abuse people as long as it's not physically.
Pieces of
I retract my statement.
Okay, so
Run away!
All right, so here's going to be my ruling on that, because all of the examples it cites are primarily metal with some non-metal components. So I'm going to say that for it to work, it has to be primarily metal, not entirely, but it has to be mostly metal. So
Right, so like a sword that has like a
like a
hilt.
wooden handle or jewel encrusting it, or
Jewel
things like,
encrusting.
yeah, things like that. But if it's primarily, so if it's in a doors,
My nails and iron fittings don't
yeah,
count.
your nails and iron fittings don't count because it is primarily wood, unless you are making a metal door, in which case probably goes over the 100 gold piece value.
What if it's like of the cheapest metal I can think of?
What is the cheapest metal you can think of?
Tin.
Top of my head, pig iron.
I still think it's going to be more than that.
Yeah, we'll just like stack things.
Yeah.
I made
How rocky
barriers.
is the terrain?
I mean, you guys are dug into like a rock, you know.
Well, I'm just
into-
wondering if
into
there's
bedrock.
enough loose stone outside that we could like build some semblance of like a stone wall that's just stone. packed together.
Yeah, you probably could. Not sure that you could fill the opening in the time allotted.
That's fine. I don't want to fill the whole opening. I just want to give the stuff we're piling in front of it a little bit more structure than
Yeah, you can do that.
than just piled in front.
Well,
Easily
and
enough.
The like the brush and stuff would actually give it a lot of
Yeah.
structure that way as well, tying in pieces to one another.
Okay.
So
I never get
I will help as much as I can.
I don't like regular donuts.
No, but
it's
you
a
like
cake
these.
donut. I don't know yet.
oh,
She hasn't eaten it yet.
I'd be surprised if she didn't. It's literally cake in the shape of a donut.
yeah.
Yep.
I just wanted to be sure. Have these made it down to you, by the way?
No.
Would you like them to?
Not at the moment.
Let's
sure.
wait. Let's wait
You
when we
give-
get super.
You give Keith the option. Hey Keith, I brought all these snacks. Do you want me to put these within reach of you? But the rest of us, he just sticks it here.
Let's
and it's
wait
like,
until
well, too bad.
let's wait until another like RP heavy session. That way we're not asking him questions mid donut.
Hey Keith, they are a little bit dry that way. So
Yeah. So
No worries.
Anyway,
we'll wait
so
for a while.
we build a
makeshift
wall
wall
for our shelter.
Okay.
as high as we probably can.
no, we could probably fill the space within an hour.
Okay.
I mean, I've got a shovel. I don't know if anybody else does. Well, you should, because you brought the mining equipment, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we should have like full mining gear.
Pickaxes,
Yeah,
crowbars,
shovels.
shovels.
Yeah. So this should be fairly easy to fill within an hour.
Okay.
Especially with the group of us.
I will remind you. 8 feet tall, 15 feet wide.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a problem.
Not worried about that.
Okay.
And we can use some of the tents as well because
Well, I think we should
In
use
here-
tents inside, but like having it walled off so that
how many
there's
tents
not
could we
storm
fit in this
inside.
cave?
All of them you've gotten then some.
Which is 2.
Mine
I
and
just
whoever else brought one.
And I
Mizuki.
think
Mizuki.
had one, yeah.
No one else brought a tent.
Did Akarai have one? Oh.
The other tents were ones that the retainers had been carrying for Lady Mizuki. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
that's one of the things I definitely got, which is a 2-man tent because I don't like the outdoors.
As we're piling in rocks and whatnot, just be like, sorry about that.
Not your fault.
Didn't realize he was listening in.
Not your fault at all.
Cheeky little dragon asshole.
He's giving you a hug.
Oh! I thought you were attacking my face.
It's sort of the same thing.
You roll an evens or odds for me real quick.
oh dear.
It is a natural 20.
Even?
Now is the okay. He rats me out.
So how much did you hear?
I don't think you had him up.
I didn't have him
for-
up until the slavery talk began.
until the slavery part.
Also, Does he
That
rat
was the part I
you
was
out?
less concerned about, so that's fine.
Or does he rat us out?
Which ones are odds? Well, I always go odds, so if it's evens,
It's even.
then
Okay.
he rats both of us out.
Alright, so Imgur informs you that he was relaying your talk of slavery to both of us.
You're my favorite Inger.
You can hug him for a while.
Good job, buddy. I appreciate your honesty. I'm just gonna have him hanging out on my shoulder for a little while.
Okay, we
build our
finish-
shelter.
Yep.
I'm just gonna take note of that for later.
How many bruises will you get later?
Are you serious? I notice. Uh-oh.
Good boy.
Roll me a d20, Danny.
That's a 12.
Okay.
No. So, once we finish the wall and we've kind of set up having dinner or whatever,
That's for Danny.
so what are we doing? So who's going to take what watch? And can, for the sake of brevity, can we assume that the two that are not here take a watch that nothing happens on?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't care. Whatever works.
I'll take the last watch.
I'll take the second watch.
Second watch. Okay. So first watch will be Cabbage and Mizuki.
Okay, I'll take third then.
Okay.
I'll take second with you.
Okay.
And I guess Sakura can just do whatever the heck he wants.
Did he? Oh, he did stay. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to eat some of the chocolate because Chipper's gonna throw something at us.
Somebody other than myself.
It is good. It is not
So
something I
sweet.
want to eat.
It is so
Right
hyper
now.
rich.
Let me have those just to see.
They're good. They're
It's,
just not.
it's really good, but it is honeycomb. So
And it's like
bad.
Butterfinger texture.
Ooh.
Very good.
Wow.
Not something I want to try and eat while
Those are
gaming.
enormous.
Yeah, they're also a little hard to bite into. They're very dense.
Okay.
I'm gonna reiterate.
I will-
It's honeycomb.
Try that later.
Yes.
When you bite into it, it's like shrapnel.
All right. So first watch goes off without a hitch. They pass things off to you guys.
Yep.
In the time that you guys have been resting, the storm has arrived and is now blowing. So outside, you are hearing the storm howling, lots of wind. The barricade that you guys have put up is sort of rattling in the wind,
Cool.
and that starts to fade a little bit as the snow starts to build up outside it. You do also feel that the temperature has dropped quite a good bit. I mean, it was already cold, but it's gotten a lot colder, so the storm has dropped the temperature a good bit. Doesn't bother you so much. See me, it's getting a little chilly.
I will still shift Alma's charlatan clothing to something a bit more heavier.
Okay.
Just as more of a. I understand I don't feel a lot of the cold, but it's more of just like reactive. Just put something more
It's
on.
aesthetic.
Okay.
Sure, we'll call it aesthetic.
All right. So, is there any sort of interaction you guys want or need to take care of at this point? Because now is the time.
I like to imagine you're both sitting there and you're sitting in between you two.
Which is what he's doing right now, so we'll just get him right here.
I
Just
hate it
like
when Mom and
looking,
Dad fight.
just looking straight forward.
Yep.
Good little dragon. Good little dragon.
And do an inside rail track. No, that's a 5.
So, had any interesting thoughts today?
Quite a few. I'm
Lay
still
'em on
trying.
me there.
Well, I mean, I assumed that I had to bind myself as well to another one of these entities, but that not being the case, it's kind of concerning that I might have to find someone else who is using the abilities of another one of these shards, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around.
So are we looking for another person, or are we looking for another chunk of shard itself?
Probably both. I had a premonition that there is someone down there who might be connected to the shard.
Down there?
Down where the shard fell. But I'm also having premonitions because I don't know if that's something that's connected to the earth one or if that's our fire dude. So.
Or you're crazy.
That's going around. Being crazy. So, what have your premonitions been like?
Have you ever heard voices?
Just, when I get them from my patron, they're mostly dreams and semi-answers, just whatever I can get from it.
Wait, isn't your patron the crazy one? The chaos one? Am I getting this wrong? Like the goddess of chaos is your
Mom's.
That's. I still don't know what that's about. As far as I have deduced, it looks like Imus might have brought her bloodline, or however that works, into my family's at some point. But I don't know when that happened.
Okay, so she's not the one giving you your powers, your weird little shardy thing is, right?
Her stuff is the wings, my ability to turn invisible, and my ability to change my appearance. I think Imus is the one that is currently concentrating on this illusion of myself.
Shardy things, everything else.
Yes. Everything that has to do with ice and other things.
Any premonitions we should be worried about?
We should probably be careful. I don't know what we're going to find down there.
I feel like that's just kind of...
I know that that's a given, but I don't know.
Anything specific? I mean, I feel like if you can listen in on my conversations, I should at least have, like, some...
There it is.
Waiting for that.
Pardon?
Not born yesterday.
I-
Do you like headlocks?
That was a threat, in case you
Milo casts Armor of Agathis.
What's a headlock?
Poor hearts.
It's like, oh,
Oh,
I'm
Davin
Davin
careful.
used to do this to
Davin
me.
used to do this to me. I didn't think that's what it was called.
I'm careful and I just, like, kind of pat your head. This one. Yeah, that one. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. You can breathe. Breathe normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I don't get to, have private conversations, that, maybe it's a balanced thing for you to have to actually come clean about some of the things that you're concerned with from your premonitions. If we're digging into private matters.
What? Okay.
Believe me, or false equivalencies
Look,
entirely.
I was curious about the conversation, but I was more worried if you were all right because you were kind of a bit on edge.
like to roll an insight check.
Loud.
Oh, probably not. That would be a 9. You don't have to beat much. I have a +6 to insight. That's just sad.
That was a persuasion. I rolled a 9. So I wasn't being deceitful. I was trying to tell you, but I didn't do well.
He unsuccessfully persuaded you.
Don't know what to do with that feeling. I'm conflicted. That's not new. So, I mean, I can kind of appreciate that if it's true.
Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah,
I am.
I appreciate concern, looking out for each other. That's nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Looking out for you. Tell me about those premonitions.
Well, I am being truthful. Those were mostly the premonitions I've gotten.
Okay.
Just that I should be careful when I go down there because there's another one like me down there.
Oh, so we're not talking like visions of death and destruction or anything crazy like that.
Not from my patron.
That's good to know.
My
weird day.
angelic friend has sent dreams of sending me to of me killing Lars.
I mean, I don't like the man. I don't hate that idea.
But would it be just?
I don't know. I don't know him well enough.
Just let somebody else do it.
Like, is he actually a legitimately bad guy? I mean, he obviously has an ego the size of an entire country.
Yep.
And he definitely is a liar and a coward.
But he's cunning, which is a very good trait for a royal.
What's his body count?
Could be a ballpark.
He's your brother.
That was a very ambiguous question.
I tell you what, pick a die for me to roll.
Oh wait, we're talking about people we slept with.
That's exactly the.
Oh.
Wait, we're talking about. Yeah, bro, what does 30 mean?
Leave it 100.
How does that make me a hoe? What do you mean people we slept with? I haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a serial killer. I'm not promiscuous. God, what kind of monster do you think I am?
I did a decent amount.
A decent amount?
An indecent amount.
I mean,
Higher.
besides her,
More.
his
More. It's about right.
There we go.
4 or 3. Give me a second. Besides his 3 wives.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about the wife bit for a minute. Yeah, I'm curious. How,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it has done nothing to clear up.
No, it's worse than that. So besides his 3 wives,
Yeah.
69 people.
Oh, of course.
Nice.
Naturally it's 69.
Well, yeah,
Is that
he was kind of in charge of a lot of the magic executions, so some of them, all of them, probably not as deserving as they should have been.
Wait, now I'm more confused.
Lot of witch
What are we talking about?
lot of witch trials.
Okay.
Bro,
Yeah, I can be comfortable with you you offing him pretty easily.
Yeah.
Oh, that did not help.
And
Just made
then
it better.
no idea about Davin. He usually doesn't stay in the capital a lot. He and his mercenaries usually go out to the land.
But he's a eunuch, so you know.
You gotta take his aggression out somehow.
Woo!
Thank you.
There are so
There should
many
be
things.
a whole lot less of that.
Yeah, so many.
I love how convoluted this has become, and that nothing we do makes it any more clear.
Nope. Okay, just noted for future reference.
Yep.
And I'm quite okay with somebody who has played a role in that many deaths not existing anymore.
Oh, you meant deaths?
Were you thinking of a different body count?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's an entirely different number.
that was the joke.
That was the joke, is what was the body count? And you're like, oh, this many. Oh, you're a hoe. Wait, how does that make me a hoe? Oh, do you mean people we've slept with? No, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Bro, what does 30 mean?
No, but if we're talking the other body count, we're much higher.
Well, especially when you started talking about executions, I.
No, yeah, a couple of those have been executions as well.
Keep going.
Nope.
Keep your role play up.
No, I think I think that's pretty well it for me. I got my little snark in. Have decided
Glad
that
you
yes,
stuck on
Lars
watch
does
with
in
her.
fact need to die, although I suspected that before.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do in that sense. I'm kind of conflicted in some ways.
Why?
My patron asked me to be pure of heart, but that also conflicts with what my angelic ancestor wants me to do.
That is an irony.
Did you just write something that you can't use anymore?
No, I wrote something that I'm going to use relatively soon, but not now.
Okay.
It was the last piece of a puzzle fitting together in my brain, and I had to write it down now before I forgot it.
Fair enough.
You're welcome.
Yes. And it was because of something you said like 2 or 3 sessions ago.
That's what got me the thank you, Braden.
That got you the thank you. That got you the thank you, Braden. Fitting with other things that are happening at the table right now. So.
Yep.
It all ties back to us sleeping.
Yep.
And what about you? Are you okay?
You sleep. I sleep.
You've kind of been on the hunt of
Coincidence? I think not.
Mal's secrets.
To say that I was hunting was not necessarily. I mean, at first I was hunting. Then I gave it up and he lied to me, and that made me incredibly mad.
Yeah, that was funny.
Well, why?
I've seen better. I've done better.
Oh, you just mean the quality of the lying.
Yeah.
You've
I've
done
seen
much
I've
better.
seen jesters do better.
You've done far better. I'm not sure that that's actually a tick in your like.
No, but that also hones to my skills and why I am good in this group.
I don't know how it makes me feel to know that I am surrounded by people that don't really have that much of a problem lying.
Well,
Well, that's not fair. Cabbage, other than telling big fish stories, has not ever lied to me. Mizuki has not lied to me. Killian hasn't lied to me, he just left.
the biggest lie of all.
So I don't think he's lied to me.
I'm asleep.
That wasn't directed at Mal.
I know.
So I guess we're kind of solidly half and half. I mean,
Yeah.
Mizu's got a bit of a superiority complex, but honestly,
Does she?
Have you not noticed?
That's normal.
Sure.
Yeah, we need to destroy the capital.
Watch it burn. Yeah. Well, there's Zachary. That's a whole different ball of fish.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ball of
I
Can
don't
you-
know
can
why.
you- I was to say, did you say bowl of fish or ball of
I
fish?
said ball of fish, and I
Okay.
don't know why. That was just the
Yum.
phrase that
What's
came
a-
out of my mouth.
Well, what's
Kettle of fish, I believe, is what you were looking for.
There we go.
What's a ball of fish?
Fish balls.
Ew.
It was a delicacy in the, or at least I was told it was a delicacy in
Oh!
the.
You're
the
referring.
cloister
You're referring to
of the
tuna
capital.
wraps.
Sure.
Nope.
I don't know what a tuna wrap is, so maybe I don't know.
I'm bullshitting the moment.
Nope. Those are eggs.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm not sure. But yeah. I don't know why I said that.
Love it.
So yeah, it's yeah. I just got really frustrated with the lying, but you know, it's fine. This is fine. He has apologized. I have accepted. If he lies to me again, I'm gonna punch his face in. Not like the one guy.
I don't know who you mean.
Oh, you weren't there. That was. Oh no, you were there for that.
I'm lying.
No, I was like.
I'm lying in the sense to make you feel better.
I was trying to remember if.
No, I was.
Milo
I've not missed an episode.
Well, I couldn't remember if it was Milo,
Milo
or
or
Adrian.
It was
But that
Milo.
was when Milo was. Yeah, that was when we
But
started.
it was before we
discussioning
knew.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I'm gonna let that one slide. Yeah, it's. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Well, let's not let the past haunt us forever. Let's look to the future and hopefully fix what we've come to figure out what we need to fix.
Yeah. She just kind of sits back and during watch she'll keep listening, looking,
Okay.
and all that good stuff, and she's writing in her journal in between
So
things.
you guys go ahead and make me your perception checks then.
Sorry, that was long.
No, that's fine.
Wow,
Don't
that
be
was
sorry.
different. It's a 17 plus 6, so it's gonna be a 23.
A dirty 20 for Ingir and an 18 for Milo.
Nice. Aside from the sounds of the storm getting worse outside, you guys don't hear anything else.
Okay.
I'm especially looking for ice muffets and Yeti.
Well, we're not that.
You
well,
do,
actually, we're
you do not
relatively
see
close, aren't we?
ice mephits or yeti.
Although you don't see ice muffets is the issue.
Good point. That was the problem.
Also,
guess
you
we'll-
can't see anything
I guess
outside
we'll
this
wake
cave,
up
So
third watch then.
But
Okay.
just in case one slips in. I hate those Yetis that can like slide through cracks and stuff. That's a problem.
Um, what specifically are you? What specifically are you taking down and writing in your journal?
Oh,
Just so I know.
I mean, I can write it later and you can read it if you want. There's plenty.
I think he's just like referring like what
So-
generally are.
Yeah. What generally are you sort of what vein are you writing in?
Taking note of kind of the terrain on the trip, like
Artery vein.
different things to that effect. I do write personal notes on how I feel regarding specific people, although I have not taken to necessarily naming those people. If I am out on an adventure somewhere, like, I don't say anything about the names of the people involved just in case I, like, die and
And your journal gets taken.
yeah, because I don't want to have anything super incriminating about them.
Okay.
So there is stuff about being frustrated by lies and deceit amongst the party members, but also like,
From the beginning.
but yeah, just kind of
Along those lines. Okay.
recaps. Yeah,
Okay.
word
Just-
vomit for emotional and mental
Just
well-being.
so I know.
and then like notes I can refer to regarding terrain and things we've run into.
Okay. And then it is the watch handoff to third watch, and that is you guys.
Gilligan. Not Inger.
Sure.
He's a very good boy.
Can Inger fit up that hole?
Should be able to, yeah.
Okay. Would you have him check the other end and make sure it's still clear?
Yeah.
Before you crash?
Okay. Now, do you have him linked just to you, or do you let him know that it's okay to link with those guys?
I let him know that he can link with them.
Okay. So you guys kind of get a sense that so Ingir goes up and disappears from sight, and then he comes back, and he you get the sense that he went up for a little bit and he turned horizontal, and then it went down a little bit and then back up, and then it turned horizontal again before it actually pops out on a rock face. So it doesn't look like it's the kind of thing that's going to be able to be blocked up by snow.
Gotcha.
Almost as if the people that carved it out knew what they were doing. There's even a little water trap in the bottom, so if water does get in, it doesn't come all the way through.
Oops.
It happens.
I broke my pencil.
Oh, it happens.
I've done that. Yeah.
It happens.
So...
They just have a very awkward silence for several hours.
Are you showing him?
Care for a drink?
Probably not.
I'll read that one again.
Apparently, if I drink too much, I start speaking another language. Don't know.
That's
Just what I've been told.
Not how that works.
You can ask everybody else. I was drunk at the time, so couldn't have told you what I was saying.
Alright.
Okay. Let me see. I had a thing for this. Give me a second.
No, that's fine.
It's got a bunch of little pebbles, and he's just...
Did you guys make perception checks?
He hasn't had his make yet.
Uh-oh.
What is your constitution?
Mine?
Uh-oh.
Yes. Your
five.
plus 5?
Yeah, so
Ooh.
20.
Okay. So how many drinks are you having?
Just one or two.
Okay, so that barely affects you. You do start to get a little tingle in your
Warm.
fingertips.
Yeah, it lets
Warm.
the blood flow.
but-
freely.
Yeah. So I've got a whole thing. You guys can't see it on the camera, but Pinterest is a wonderful thing for DMs. There's a whole page about drunkenness and how to deal
Out of
with it.
curiosity, how many drinks would I have to get drunk with a constitution of a 7?
Plus 7?
No.
Oh no.
-2 is the bonus key.
Oh geez. Pretty much your first drink.
And if it's dwarven,
Yep.
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
So
One
yeah,
sip.
it wouldn't take much for you.
That's what I thought.
I will translate this for you guys so you can have it at some point later
Yeah,
too.
I'm good.
Alright.
So if there's no conversation happening, do go ahead and...
The awkwardness from Mal probably fades fairly shortly, and then
Okay.
he just sits sort of
Okay.
comfortably.
Do go ahead and give me your perception checks.
Wait, we can't get
Make
out of
one
the cave
for-
this early in the game. We're gonna have to roleplay.
Oh, it's fine.
You want to roleplay what?
So Mal,
I don't do schoolgirl.
so I'm a little curious.
Like bikers or like
Are you
Yeah.
a slave or a slave owner?
so you were part of that too, huh?
I've heard you mention it to see me before. Something slaves to your chieftain, something.
Mm-hmm. As all my people are. The answer is yes.
Thank you, Killian.
The risk of sounding indelicate, how does that work?
Fairly simply. It's not indelicate. Are you asking for specifics?
Like, so you're all slaves to the chieftain.
Yeah.
So what, your chieftain sent you
No.
away?
No.
So you ran away?
No, I asked permission to leave.
And he gave it to you?
Yeah.
What, did he have too many slaves?
No. What?
Well, normally if you have slaves, so, property, the people who own property tend not to want to give property away.
Property is a really loose term amongst my people.
I gathered that from the fact that you can own other people.
Slavery is just the term that has been used as long as I can remember, and I assume as long as my people can. That is the term for taking someone under your protection. They are then sort of obligated
Oh, your vassals. Okay.
to... No.
Yes.
No, this is not a feudal system.
There's a person. You agree to do what they ask of you and to support them and work for them, and in exchange, they give you protection, a place to stay, food, they take care of you.
Yes, but that is a very rigid structure. The thing is should I decide to challenge the chieftain, all that he has, and I won, of course.
Sure.
All that he has and is would be mine. It's a feudal system. It's usually done through some sort of a monarchy or lineage or what have you.
Right, and yours just works on whoever is currently the one in charge, yeah.
Strongest and the most capable of protecting those who
Yep.
are, yeah.
Yeah, the word you're looking for to explain this to us here is vassal, not slave. Slave denotes that you are considered property. You are valued as property.
But
So like, if your house asked you if it could go away, you would say no, I imagine, to the house leaving. Because the house is yours and you get to decide what the house does. Right?
unless the person who owns me tells me otherwise.
Right, but like if you were chieftain and your house wanted to get up and walk away,
This is a very interesting
that's because when you
metaphor.
use the word slave, what people we know use that as means that they treat other people as property, not as subjects. So
Subject
you like
isn't quite the
you
right word
you
either,
don't
but-
care what happens to, like, you might care about your sword, right? Like you want to keep it in good shape, but you aren't worried about your sword's feelings. You don't, when you draw your sword, you don't worry about how your sword feels about what you're about to do with it.
Indeed.
Right.
That was
So
Claudius. Dang it!
when people use the word slave, imagine that same
like thinking that same way, but about other human beings who can make, like other people who can make their own choices and have their own free will.
So your language just doesn't have the right word for it then.
Right. But vassal conveys a better idea because if they offer you protection in exchange for you working for them,
I mean, not working for them specifically, you work for yourself, but yes,
they
sure.
they can ask you to do things, and the reason you're okay with it is because they offer you protection in return.
Certain, yeah.
Yeah, so that is, vassal is going to be closer than slave because vassal means that they don't treat you like property that they don't care about. They still need you, but they are offering, they still get to control you in a sense.
I see. I will try to use that term then.
That would also make so much more sense than saying you're both a slave and a slave owner.
Yep.
That's usually not how what people we know call slavery works. You don't usually let your property own other property. It's all just yours.
This language is so inadequate.
I mean, we could switch to Dwarven if you want.
Sure.
Does that help any?
I mean, I imagine that it's at least easier for him to convey. That's his native tongue, is Dwarven. But
You're the only dwarf I've ever met who comes from a place where they do this.
have you met anyone else from?
Where the hell am I from?
Yeah, Steven, do you remember where you're from? Because I sure don't.
It didn't.
I think there was a name.
There is a name, and give me
Iceland.
1
I
second.
mean, there was a
while
name. There was a name for the town.
for the town.
but
Yes.
not specifically for the mountain range.
No, there
Okay.
wasn't.
Oh, cool. Make one up.
I want to say the Urgles, but that's anyway. That's a different IP. I should avoid that one.
Fraggle Rock.
The Shell Eater Peaks.
Brandon Sanderson reference.
Because the system of how things work he's describing is very
Actually,
similar.
it's not from there.
No, but it is very
It's
similar.
similar to
The
one
reaching
you're-
mountain range.
Sure. You've not met anyone from the regions before, then.
Nope.
Write that down for me.
Yes, sir.
The reaches.
Hi, Kevin.
Nope, but all the dwarves where I grew up, this is not how things worked.
I mean, they're probably more directly descended from those not of the Empire. I imagine that they are, since they are less secluded, they would have adopted more culture from the areas around them.
Yeah, but it also doesn't seem like that's how the dwarf empire worked either.
I mean, not directly. It was actually because of the fall of the Dwarven Empire that our people adopted the system that they did.
So is it always by virtue of like who is physically strongest?
Not necessarily. If you're, if you have a particular capability, you're faster, you're more capable with a specific weapon.
Right, but it is all martial prowess.
Essentially, yeah.
So whoever's in charge is just whoever is the most
most-
martially capable and willing to fight for it.
Yeah. And the one who is most capable of providing the protection that is needed by those underneath them.
So
Or her.
like, what level of technology did you have in your town when you grew up?
How do you mean?
Do we have running water in our town?
I mean, we have a river.
Or is it like
Well,
one
like,
of
do
those
we have,
like
like-
pump things?
I
I
mean,
was gonna say, do we have plumbing?
Or is it one of
not
those where you gotta
really. I mean, the closest structure that might would be the bathhouse, but it's right on the river, so it's like they basically stick a pipe in the river and use the pressure of the flowing water to power it.
What about one of those things where you just go like that and
The big vacuum.
yeah, the vacuum.
We have to because I used that on my
Yeah, so you've got that.
fire engine.
But I assume there's most of the towns.
Anyway, so like,
folk just use a
okay,
well.
like your sword, was that produced by someone in your village?
No, I actually bought this one in my travels shortly after leaving.
But is like
It was
the workman...
the sword that I had there was property owned by
Right.
the chieftain.
Is
so
it
I had to leave
is it like of similar quality to what you had?
maybe a little lesser? The edge dulls more quickly,
But do you know... How do I explain this? How much do you know about metalworking?
I mean that's some. That wasn't my particular profession, but
What quality of steel was your sword made of?
Keith.
If he would even know. Like, that's the thing, is Killian just realized, like, oh, I don't know how to explain to you, like,
Right.
what I am
So-
grading.
Again, that's not like
So
his area
in
of
modern
expertise.
terms, it is so it is steel. So it's
Yep.
going to have some carbon to it, but it's sort of a low grade. Very like minimal amount of carbon into the iron to make it steel.
So like
so a lot of impurities, very very rough
so
sort of work.
Wait, my current
and
sword or the
No, the one you would have.
the one you would have had before.
like Viking technology, because the Vikings used to
yeah,
they used to crush bones to put in their metal.
Yeah.
where
Which
they
was
get
actually a
carbon.
very primitive way of getting carbon in, so it was very
Yeah.
early stage of steel.
Yeah, something like that. So not like
Romans.
Damascus steel
So
or anything
the
like
question
that.
here
but
is, does Mal know enough to be able to convey that idea to Killian?
I can't imagine he would, because he and his family made alcohol. It
Do you have,
dulled
like-
faster than this one?
Okay. Oh, wait. Were like the buildings made of stone?
Dug into stone, yes.
Dug into stone. But okay. And were any like when were your houses built? Like how long had they been there?
Most of them? I mean, we were a growing society, but most of them had been there possibly even before we were. But I don't know that for sure.
Ingir will flash a couple of images into your mind. It's basically the question: wooden doors or just like doors that are just like a piece of fabric.
Oh, wooden doors.
So like
Which you have no context
Yep.
for.
Ingir will tap you in on anything.
so like you would have had to dig out new homes for people then.
Correct.
The tools that were used, did your village produce that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
I mean, there are definitely remnants of things that we don't know how to do anymore. Things that were lost when the Empire fell that we just don't have access to anymore. Most of my people were at that point refugees.
Interesting.
So,
So like, did everyone aspire to be martially powerful?
it was sort of a byproduct, I think, of our culture and society.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, so you make alcohol, right?
Mhm.
That's like your trade.
Yeah.
So is that considered like a lower caliber of trade than like a warrior?
No. Everyone is a warrior. But we live our lives in addition to that.
I just figured out why. I'll tell you later.
So you all are warriors.
Yeah, everyone learns to ply a warrior's trade because it's required in our society.
Hmm.
There's little gnats.
Yeah, sorry.
You
So-
have plants, it's fine. Chat can't see the gnats.
So then we're just
I have
crazy
something
going.
to work. Yeah, I have something later that I'm going to work on that with, but
So
not gotten to it yet.
Is there like a formal way you learn to fight? Do you go to a school that teaches you?
I mean, it's part of our formal education. Now that being said, everyone has specialties, things that they naturally lean into. Some folks, it's more.
So you all have like two trades. You are all warriors, but you all also have to have some other skill set to
I
contribute.
wouldn't call being a warrior a trait specifically amongst my people because it is simply what everyone is.
Right, but it is like you all are skilled in a warrior arts, and then you learn something else that helps contribute. So like, if you became chieftain, you'd still keep making alcohol.
Probably. If
So
that was in the best interest
what
of
are the
my people.
perks of being chieftain then?
You have the control of everyone who is underneath you, which at that point is the whole tribe. So if you decide that someone needs to be changing careers, you ask them to, and they do.
What do you do with the people who don't want to listen to the new chieftains?
They get challenged.
Okay, what happens when they lose?
They become property directly to the chieftain.
Yeah, but what if they're still not willing to listen to what the
They're
chieftain tells them to?
ostracized, or they leave the community.
Wait, so did you refuse to? No, because you asked permission.
Mhm.
Okay.
Although I was not perhaps entirely forthcoming with the reason for my leaving, I did have permission to leave.
So, how many of your people would you estimate there are?
I'd better check with Keith on that one, because that could be important.
If things keep going the way I think they might, it will be important.
So your specific community is pretty small. It's only about 50 or 60 families. So you're probably talking about all told 150, 200 dwarves in your community.
But amongst the other tribes.
But amongst the other tribes, there are about a dozen tribes, and each of they vary. Yours is one of the smaller ones, but some of the larger ones have as many as 1,500 people in various settlements.
So if you're asking about us specifically, maybe 150, 200 people max. That was my tribe though, in our little section of the mountains, but
How many tribes are there?
6 that I interacted with anyway. There might be some more smaller ones, smaller than my own.
And are they all about the same size as your?
Some of them were fairly vast, 1,600 people.
Hold on a moment, I'm getting a premonition from the gods.
God is telling me.
No, that actually fits.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you something
Puzzle
really
pieces
weird.
fitting together.
This whole conversation. Sorry?
So puzzle pieces fitting together.
So Kenny's going to reach into his bag and pull out 2 wooden swords. And he's going to toss one to you. Let's spar.
Is this a formal challenge?
No.
Alright.
This is let's call it research.
I'm all for research. And he just gives you like a...
And I'm going to try and do it
Great.
not super loudly, but Killian at this point has also kind of forgotten the...
Everybody else is sleeping.
Ingir will sigh, head over towards the door, sit down, and just take
I
watch.
imagine this is getting towards morning. Or
Okay.
towards the end of the watch anyway.
Roll me a perception for Ingir.
It
You guys
was
do your thing.
It was a dirty 20 from earlier.
Roll him another
So
one.
Killian's just going to stand up. All right, I want to see how skilled you are.
14.
But before... No, we'll do this first. And then he's like, so are you ready?
Always.
All right, and Killian's just going to launch in and go as hard as he can.
Alright, I like it. So wait, how are we... Keith, how would you like us to do this?
Roll initiative.
Plus 3. So 19?
16.
Okay, so you will act first and just go in rounds.
Okay, so first thing he'll do is he'll parry that first strike, and then he'll take 2 fast ones. and then he'll pop his shadow behind you, which will also take one at your backside. I'm assuming that one's gonna miss.
My AC is 17.
So first one misses,
This can
second
only
one
go
hits
well.
with a 18 rather. And that is. Or are we doing? Well, it's wooden swords. How do you want us to do damage? Do we want to just do regular damage so that it's easy math, or?
A D6 non-lethal.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if this really comes up important for you, Keith, but like Killian is not particularly interested in like. The point of wooden swords was he didn't want this to actually be dangerous.
Right.
Killian is just like, okay, if you're all warriors, I want to see how good of a warrior you are.
So you're not doing anything but bludgeoning with them because they are wooden. They're not improvised though because you've
Yeah, they're training swords.
They're training swords. So make it whatever your strength bonus is flat as the damage.
Okay.
As bludgeoning, non-lethal.
If the one Killian's using is the more of a short sword, should I use Dex?
Because that's what he would have tried with. Is stat.
Because that's how Killian fights now.
So whatever would be
What- it's
appropriate.
normal.
Yeah, whatever your appropriate skill would be.
Okay. So with the one hit from there, it would be a +4, and then from behind you, it's going to hit at a 17, as you said your AC?
Yep.
Yep, so that'll hit, so 8 points of damage. And at that point, he actually will sort of pull out his bow as well, and just sort of have it in his offhand, where he usually carries his shield. So he does not have his shield bonus to AC. And at that point, I imagine we've woken everybody up.
I'll look over and be like, Mal, really?
He started it.
We don't do this here. This is not. We don't work that
Does
way.
what would the lowest of those have been? Does
17 is my AC without my
Oh, okay. So he'll miss his first one, but hit you with his second.
Okay.
For 10 points of damage. 10.
Oh wait, were we rolling damage for the weapon as well? Or
No.
were we just doing damage for... So you got a +5 in Dex?
Oh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just the bonus.
3.
Okay. Okay. Not bad. And he'll take another couple swings.
I'll pop my hat out of the tent.
So we're whack, whack, whack.
So the shadow is going to back up, and it is going to be 25 feet from you. And it is going to draw and fire a shadow arrow at you.
Okay.
So that'll be Dex instead. Roll that one first. 17's going to hit. So that is 3 points of damage from behind you. And then 2 attacks from in front. And I'm going to re-roll that one. Okay, so both of those will hit at a 22 and a 26. So that is another 8 points of damage.
Okay. Killian will strike at you again. He'll feint the first one and then come around and whip you on the other side of the second one. It's just another 3.
Okay.
Feel free, the rest of you, to interject whenever you want.
I'm gonna come up and just be like, guys, really, this whole challenge thing is
So Killian
stupid.
is in the middle. Oh right, people were. Killian's gonna turn around. I assume everyone's awake.
You both forfeit. You both fail.
Ingir will
That's
waddle
not
over
how that
towards
works, and
me.
this
Do you want to
wasn't
have
a
me
formal
Ingir,
challenge.
please?
Jeez.
Sorry, everything's fine.
Cast Dragon's Breath.
Go back
and
to
then set him
sleep.
back. Yeah, he heads back to the
Yeah.
front of the, and he'll hold his action.
And I'm gonna slip these into my bag and. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't really think that through.
Yeah, neither did I. I got a little carried.
Let me know when they're in
Oh.
range.
Ingir fires off his dragon's breath.
I need them all to make, I believe it's dexterity saving throws, but allow me a moment to
All the Yetis.
check real quick.
They're all slithering through our cracks.
I don't want them
yeah,
slithering in
dexterity
any of my
saving throw.
cracks.
Okay, so about the time you hear the sound of heavy footfalls outside, and about the time you see Ingir blast off his fire breath or his dragon's breath, your alarm goes off.
Okay.
Buddy,
There we go.
I can get them back now.
Oh, you're fine.
Wow, that's terrible. So the highest was a 10, and the other two were natural ones.
Okay. All three of them then take 16 points of cold damage.
Oof. Okay.
What are these?
I have no idea.
Oh,
don't
okay,
know
we
yet.
don't know yet.
So from outside the cave, you hear two really, really deep sort of bellows of pain and rage, and one quite a bit higher pitched. Everybody roll initiative.
Billy Bones, the girl.
And we don't see what they are?
Not yet.
Need help?
Nice.
Yeah, I'll spend my
I mean, that makes
inspiration
sense.
just to
I
make it
literally
higher.
have my bow in my
Um,
hand.
There we go, that works.
Plus dex. So that's gonna be 13.
So 13 for Simi.
19 for Milo and Ingir.
I have a few
22.
decent ones.
22.
19.
19. Okay. And with a roar,
What do we see?
3 large bear-like shapes with owl heads come barreling back into their lair
I now
that
wanna
you guys have taken over for the night.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, now I feel
One of
bad.
them is a good bit smaller than the other two and seems to be hanging back a bit.
Oh, that's convenient.
They are
There's,
between you and the entrance.
I have a question.
Yes.
How angry do the Owlbears appear?
The two big ones are pretty riled.
Let me put this in another way.
Uh-huh.
When he talks to them.
I was gonna say, does Killian feel like there's still a chance that maybe he could talk to them and we could avoid conflict, or does he think that time has now passed? There's no way we're gonna be able to have a conversation.
Make me a nature check.
I want to avoid killing the poor little owl bears that we stole their house. That's so sad.
I don't.
22.
Sucks to suck.
Do I know what an owlbear is?
It is.
I do not.
It might be worth a try. They are pretty riled right now, and you think it may have something to do with the fact that they just took
Yeah.
fire,
That's what I was wondering.
dragon's breath to the face.
All right.
Who's up first?
Mal.
That's Mal.
Killian is gonna say,
no.
wait.
For what?
There's a chance.
You might not have to fight.
Hold my action. And I'm gonna move out my shadow to be right in front of them.
Okay. Now, which one of the two of you has the higher dex?
I have a 14.
I have a 16.
So that would be you.
All right, I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Killian's going to try and move up. He's gonna try and pull Ingir back a little bit from danger if he can.
He's right there.
Now, remember this is still sort of an energetic situation. So just
we mean you no harm. We did not realize this was your home. We want no trouble.
no Now I have to look.
Yeah, get used to it, Keith, because Killian's going to be doing a lot of talking down animals when he can.
I'll be back.
So, one of them, the one on the right,
Fail.
Make me a perception check at disadvantage.
Please fail. Wow. Please fail.
22.
Aww.
What, me fail?
Yeah.
He wants combat. I want death too.
Okay.
Well,
So the one on the
unfortunately,
right.
my patron is the goddess of life, so...
So the one on the right is slightly larger, a little bit brawnier. Obviously the male. He's like, little lizard, bite.
Little Lizard did not know that we could stay in peace.
Okay. We're going to move on.
Yep, I know.
Um,
Also, I don't know what it sounds like to everybody else. I don't know if they can hear me talking normally.
no. So you guys are getting like grunts and growls and it's very guttural and very, very animalistic.
Oh, I didn't give you a trigger. If they attack anything, that's when.
Okay. And that'll be...
Do I get the sense that he's trying to calm them down, or...
You heard him tell Mal not to shoot.
You did hear him tell Mal
Killian
not,
is standing
not
in
to
front of everybody,
shoot.
like, in the most non-threatening posture he can.
Make me an insight check. It will be a fairly easy DC.
13.
13. That's enough. Yeah, you get a sense that he's trying to calm the situation.
Okay. Then I will hold me and Ingir's action.
Okay. That actually brings us to Simi. Perfect timing.
It is your turn, Simi.
Oh, sorry. Are we fighting?
Well...
Killian's attempting to calm them
Killian
down.
sort of threw himself in front of everybody, and he's grunting and growling at these creatures who are kind of grunting and growling at
And he
him.
did tell Mal when he was about to fire, he's like, wait.
I am going to, because Simi would feel bad, like, knowing that this is probably where they reside. I'd like to kind of hopefully help diffuse the situation with an animal handling check.
Roll it.
Don't suck. It was a 10.
You maybe won't make things worse.
You're
hope
not
not.
helping, but you're not hurting the situation right now.
He's trying to make it very clear I'm not aggressive right now. I'm going to be prepared to be aggressive if I have to.
Okay, so animal handling was yours.
You a wiggle butt.
Only a mediocre handler of animals.
It's okay, our party's gonna be real starved of combat if he keeps throwing things at us that are just, like, not inherently evil.
It's not fair, man.
Well, it'll depend on how he rolls.
I'm trying to be just.
Okay, so the two bigger ones seem to have sort of taken a little bit of a step back. I mean, they're still
Oh yeah.
they've still got the hair on their haunches is up.
Yeah.
The little one is gonna make a charge at Ingir.
By fire.
He's just little. He doesn't
No,
know
no,
better.
no. Hey.
But I'm assuming that's gonna miss. Yeah, that's gonna be a 9. That's gonna miss. So he takes a sort of a half-hearted little. He charges at him and he swings at him, but he's clearly out of range.
Well.
And he's
Yep.
It might be because there's 2 arrows headed straight for his eyes.
Oh no.
I'll wait to see what happens afterwards, and then I'll kick off.
So I'm assuming that a 24 and a
Oh, no.
19 hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He failed his wisdom save. And he's...
So that is... Oh, wait. 14 points of damage, not 16.
No, what the hell?
I ran it in here.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, well that's going to take us back to the top of the round.
And we're doing it all over again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Does it look like the 2 big
Gosh.
ones are now aggroed again?
Yeah.
We attacked their kid.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
The diplomatic approach is officially over.
Okay, well,
Oh, poor
my
boy.
actions will go off then.
You didn't hold actions.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he
did.
did. He
He
said he would
did.
hold his
Triggered,
actions
but-
to see.
Okay.
Okay. 2 dragon breaths will go off.
Okay.
So I need you to make 2 dexterity saving throws. We'll start with the first one.
Which 2?
Oh, that also might hit my shadow.
It's a 15-foot cone, so...
Yeah, it's gonna hit my shadow.
Okay.
Okay. They fail.
I assume it takes damage even when you save.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're going to fail both. What's the DC?
16.
Okay, the male actually saves on the second one.
Okay, well the first damage is going to be...
And I guess the kid needs to make a save as well.
Yep.
Okay, so the kid will make the save on the second one as well.
Okay, well the first one is going to be 17.
Okay, so they all 3 take the 17, and the
then
second one.
The second one is a lot worse, so...
Oh gosh.
You okay,
Bless
buddy?
you. Hey, buddy.
Wow, that sounded
And
so much
then
more wet than it
the
was.
second one's going to be 8,
No.
so whoever passed
Definitely
just
was
take
not
4.
dry. So that's
Okay, let me
7.
do some math.
Okay, let's see. I have stunning strike now, right? No.
You've always had stunning strike.
Where does that kick in?
Whenever you punch someone, you can
Use
spend a
It's a
key
key
point
point,
to make
okay.
them roll a Constitution save. On a fail, they are stunned for
until the end of
until
your
the
next
end
turn.
of your next turn.
Gotcha. Oh, are you a sleepy baby chipper?
Oh, wait. Oh.
Yucky, buddy.
Okay. And with the second dragon's breath, the baby just kind of collapses there onto the ground. Ingir's it's covered with like sheets of ice and icicles just falling off of it, and it has basically frozen to death because of those blasts. Okay.
The bigger of the 2, I'm shooting 2 arrows. So the lower of the rolls is 18, the higher is 26.
Both are going to hit.
Okay. So it'll be 5 plus 3 is 8, and 4, so 7 and 8 is 15 points of damage. And his shadow is gone.
Okay. All right. Killian.
And baby cub is definitely out. Not like unconscious, but dead. Okay.
Like unrevivable dead?
We
We
don't
unless
know.
there is
We
a
don't have
spell that
Oh, we do have a
specifies.
I was gonna say.
I was gonna
we don't have a
say
cleric.
I don't think Mizuki has access yet to anything that could fix that.
I have healing.
It is dead.
Dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I was
Oh,
asking. Because
okay.
if not,
Well,
I was
mean,
gonna,
it's
does
Within the realm
it's
of
at zero.
Revivify, but
It's-
not within the
It's
realm
at
of.
0.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's unconscious. Then.
So
well, I mean, it's
Dead for all
does it
intents
look
and
like we
purposes.
can use healing to bring it back from the brink, or is it too far gone?
conceivably if you get to it fast enough.
Well then, in that case, I'm gonna go heal baby cub.
Okay.
Mal, don't move. Tell your shadows
All right.
not to
So
either.
so the ice
My
sort
thing
of
is dead. My shadow
chips and melts off of it, and it does start to stir a little bit.
So it gets
Baby.
9 hit points back.
Okay.
And I will tell mom and dad, who I'm sure are super pissed,
Uh-huh.
take your cub and leave.
Okay. Make me a persuasion check.
Hey, good thing I'm actually kind of good at that.
At disadvantage.
Of course.
I mean,
You have an interesting headdress.
it's very cute.
It is very cute. Potentially
Okay.
a little smelly.
All right. 18.
Okay. All right. They do seem reluctant to go. The storm is raging pretty hard
Yep.
still outside, but they do make a point. The mom sort of goes over to the cub, and Dad is sort of standing there between you all and them. Staring you down and very, very bristled. But they do eventually sort of make their way back out into the storm.
Anybody want to help me fix the door?
I'm on it.
Can go over and start fixing the door.
Go back in the tent.
Okay.
Let's not make a habit of attacking innocent creatures.
I don't know that they were innocent in this case.
They came back to their home.
I saw no tracks.
Maybe not. I just don't know that they were particularly guilty of anything worth killing them over either.
I mean, it was clearly aggressive.
Was a misunderstanding, and the child panicked.
yes.
I don't think you were wrong in what you did. I am, however, grateful that we were able to get them to leave, and I wish instead we could have offered them shelter here.
Yes. I would have preferred that. Had that been on the table. in the
Thank
end.
you for not immediately shooting them.
Yes. They're gonna be really, really sad if we pass out bear bodies.
Owlbears.
Keith, don't you dare do that to me.
What do you think it's rolling for?
Don't you do it.
It's the
Don't
dice's
you
fault,
do it.
not his, Danny. It's the dice's fault, Danny. They are random number generators. They are not biased in any way.
Also, he's the DM. He doesn't care about your.
The,
I will-
the polyhedral random number generators have spoken.
I will say a prayer to the goddess of life, hoping that they can find shelter elsewhere and not die. So
Okay.
take that into your calculations, DM.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Beep.
All right. The next day, the storm is still blowing in all its fury.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do either of you have comments about our sparring before that? After it's all over.
Once I know that you are not in fact, fighting to see which one of you gets to enslave who, I'm generally not that upset, but I was real hot under the collar when I didn't realize that was the case.
So, it's not really slaves. It's more like vassals.
But
We don't have. There's not the right word in common or Elven to describe it.
I wouldn't know if there was an Elven. I don't speak it, but
Like the closest there's gonna be is vassal, and so it's less. So like not property, but subjects, and they they agree to it because they get things out of it for themselves.
But if they don't agree to it,
Then they leave or are shunned, according to Mal.
easier
Don't
to leave
love
and
that
make your own
part.
way in the world. Well, I mean, you clearly don't fit into our society if you're not going to conform
If you're
to the
not-
societal norms.
Yeah, if you're not going to follow the community's rules, the community won't offer you protection.
gotcha.
So like he keeps using the word slave, but it's not really slaves.
And now everybody in the cave is hearing
Yes.
this slave word thrown around.
So not property, like what we would think of.
That helps a bit.
And you challenge them to be, because you're the most capable at protecting them, and that's why you would challenge them.
Okay.
Because you are the most capable, so you want to be the one making decisions.
So, this thing about you someday challenging me, why would that fly since I'm not a part of your culture and your, like, nothing holds me to anything.
No.
Wait, you're going to challenge her?
It was a consideration.
How'd you think that was gonna go?
One way to find out.
So first of all, I've watched her beat people to death. Second of all, even if she loses, if she loses, she's not gonna do what you say.
I mean, if I do, it would be out of respect, and if you challenged me to do something like that out of want to rule over me in some way,
It's
shape,
not a
fashion,
matter
or
of rule.
form. No, if you challenged me when you knew that I wasn't a part of your culture and didn't adhere to those same norms, it kind of seems like it
Our
would be.
society does not function off of whoever's strongest gets to call the shots.
Isn't it though?
No.
It seems to me that your empress is empress because of might, magic, and rulership.
The Empress does not have say in our town.
I'm pretty sure the garrison would disagree.
Before the garrison was there.
You were technically subject to the queen's
Right, and we
empresses.
Also,
frequently
not
ignored it.
Great example, seeing as we've already established that the queen is super crooked and not.
I'm
doing
not
what
saying
she
that's
should
not
be.
true. I'm saying that your society is not as different as you're saying it is.
What was the mayor's name? Do you remember? I can't remember
I
either.
can't remember. Jeremiah's? No,
Sure.
that's not right.
No? Well,
That's close. Go with that.
clearly you have not met our mayor, Jeremias. When you do, you will understand that the person in
Roll a
charge of
history check.
town is definitely not the strongest.
History plus 0 is 10.
I mean, the name kind of rings a bell, but you're not sure why.
So,
Milo, can you have Inger show him an image of mayor?
It's the innkeeper.
Yeah, that's the leader of town.
I mean,
Clearly not the strongest warrior in town.
but could have been the smartest, as is the case in my society, where if they were able to outwit the person they challenged,
I can promise you he is neither smarter, nor more cunning, nor stronger, nor has anything else over the rest of us.
and he should have been challenged a long time ago.
Nobody wants
in the
his
best
job.
interest of the town.
That's not how it works here, unfortunately.
Anyway,
Have you ever had anybody in your village who was just a pain to deal with, and sometimes it was better to just let them think that they were in the right, just so you didn't have to argue with them?
That's when a challenge happens.
Okay, yeah. So for us, we're just let him be mayor, and everyone just kind of ignores him, but he gets to technically be in charge. Because it's just easier than actually dealing with the man.
All of this is
We're all
this
so
is so
backwards.
bad. I feel like both of these things
So,
are really,
if
really
you
not
challenge
how this should
her,
work.
she won't care, because that's not how the leader from her society gets chosen.
But that may or may not matter. The reason that I would do it is because that is the way it's done in my society. Whether or not she chooses to conform is up to her. She is welcome to say that she will ignore me. She is welcome to do that. That's really not the point. The point is I have asked her to keep a secret, and that could be more bound if that was a more formalized relationship.
So why would it be more likely to stay bound by
We came in far late for
why
that.
would it be more binding
We missed.
for you to challenge
We missed
someone
the beginning. We only
who
hit them
doesn't
discussing
have any kind
slavery.
of connection to that part of your culture? Or
Because you would
anything
be
like that?
choosing to adhere to it if you agreed to the challenge.
Does it
It's-
not make it more valid that I'm choosing to adhere to it now because I respect you and not because you challenge me because you're...
Because we're friends. That is understandable. It would just be a formalized thing to set my mind at ease, because something that is not formalized in my culture is not existent.
So
Do I recognize
so
his culture?
I
Is that what you're
understand.
talking about?
what you mean,
Okay.
and that makes a lot of sense. I would give a slight recommendation. When you're dealing with people from different societies and cultures, it is best to frame it in accordance to the terms of their culture rather than yours.
Your culture doesn't have a really good system for formalizing a relationship in which one person doesn't give a secret, except for like, hey, don't tell anybody, they might kill me.
So that's not true. There are 3 ways you can handle that.
I am all ears.
Okay, so step 1, you ask her to give her word that she will not break it. If you were to attack her or otherwise exact your challenge, by the social norms of our society, the fact that she had given her word and then broken it would be that you would be within an acceptable social bound to challenge her at that point. You can't just say, I'm going to challenge you. Like, that word doesn't mean anything here. You'd have to frame it differently to explain it to her. Secondly, you can get her to sign a legally binding contract that if she breaks, you can get her thrown in jail or fined for.
Except to put
Or put to death if it's a serious enough problem.
to put that on paper is a problem when you're trying to keep a secret.
No. You just say that she has privileged information, and if she shares your privileged information with anyone else, she is subject to whatever the contract says happens.
But I believe you have to specify what that specific thing
Otherwise it would
is.
be
You do not have to.
It would be too easy for me to say that she broke it no matter what.
It would be a silly contract for her to sign if she didn't trust you, yes, but you don't actually have to specify.
But for the most part, you are right. That's
Thirdly,
how it works.
you could just have her give you something as collateral.
Their society is so backwards.
Yeah,
I
it
trust
was for
you.
the last couple
I do.
thousand years. Somehow.
In my society, we would want to formalize that because someone who is unattached to a tribe by means of vassaldom
Yep, sure.
is a liability. They are someone who is potentially drain on resources, which are somewhat limited, although less so in recent years.
Just rolling all over the place.
Though it pains me to not have this formalized, I'll leave it as is because I trust you.
So you want to ask her to give you
No, I
her
don't.
word. Yes, you do.
Because if she has given her word by saying she would not, then I have to trust that because it's the same thing. People.
But then she'll feel socially obligated.
Would you feel socially obligated if you said you gave your word versus having given your word?
No. If
That
I
seems
said,
silly.
"Simi, will you promise to keep this a secret?" and you said yes,
Yes.
you would feel bad if you didn't keep it a secret.
Yes.
So see, that's what you need to get out of her.
See me. Would you promise to keep my secret secret?
I mean, I've already told you this, but yes.
Congratulations, you've just formalized it in her society.
Would you like some collateral?
No.
Okay.
So
I do prefer that over the whole slavery shtick. That does not.
you're sharing
Vassaldom.
you're sharing secrets with Simi.
Because I felt socially obligated, as you put it.
Interesting.
It does
Okay, does
not.
everyone need to know now? Is this something that everyone needs to know? Because, what did you say before? It's going to bite us in the butt later.
I don't believe so.
They're all dead.
That really doesn't help quell the curiosity.
Do you need to know?
No, I don't really feel the need to know.
I
although
don't
am
need to-
curious now because that could apply to a lot of situations.
You could have left it where it was. That was an option.
That
was an option before.
Wisdom, guys.
All my loved
It
ones are
shows-
dead.
It shows.
All my family is dead.
No, my
Livestock.
family is
All
fine.
my enemies are
All
dead.
my enemies are dead.
Livestock.
I think I went through
Trees.
this.
Everyone I've shared my true name with is dead.
Simi's alive.
Is that what you shared with her? Is your true
What?
name?
No.
You don't have to speak. Sometimes it's better to stop.
Wisdom is.
Don't you
You
just
have
love
the
when
right
they
to
break
remain
without you
silent.
having to push very hard?
It's actually really nice.
Yeah.
You have the right to remain silent.
You see
Do you
Mel's
have the
face
ability?
Just getting more and more red.
No, in all seriousness, if you don't feel like sharing that, I have no problem with that. I just didn't know you had shared a secret with Simi.
Well, now you do.
Interesting.
That's all I need to know.
Is it? Is it?
How very passive aggressive this all feels.
So I am curious, though, why you felt obligated to share it with her.
Because I lied specifically for her benefit.
Ah, okay.
Oh. A pity telling the truth.
Yep.
Ah.
He was guilted into telling the truth because he's a bad liar.
I'm gonna have nervous twitch after today.
Well then, shall we away?
For the record, this is partially why I drink.
Also,
Oh, you were drinking before you met us.
don't know
that's
that
not
that's true.
actually true.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know.
At least it's
She
not
started
excessive.
drinking excessively when she met you.
Let's wipe your nose.
Now, are you referring to Adrian or Milo?
Milo.
Both.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I kind of started a little bit before him.
Yeah, because he literally invited her to take a drink with him on their date.
Oh yeah, but like I said, drinking excessively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. She started drinking excessively when she met Alma.
Hey.
Also, not
You
a-
started drinking. You had 2 bottles of wine the night the cobalt meteors fell.
Well, yeah, but like I'm sure everyone went home and drank a bunch that night.
There were space dragons falling from
So
the
Mal.
sky.
Are all of the people in your society are you on the higher skilled end in terms of warriors, or the lower skilled end in terms of warriors in your society?
Somewhere in the middle?
Outrage.
Okay, good to know.
I mean, I'm definitely, maybe middle higher. I'm fairly good at what I do.
Okay.
How is Akai responding to all of this?
Like most of our
He's
NPCs,
just
he
kinda-
just sits in the NPC pocket until we remember
He's,
that
he's
in
probably
there.
sitting over there drinking.
No, he's just kind of sitting there, taking it all in.
Did he respond very much with the idea of like being challenged for as effectively ending up being a vassal slave.
A vassal slave.
No,
Slassel.
not so much. I mean, he's
Vassal.
he's
Slassel.
kind of taking it all in and synthesizing his thoughts, but he's pretty quiet.
Mal, I'm sorry to continue to inquire as to your society. I'm just so
No,
curious.
I don't mind talking at all about my society.
So are they all?
Are we
as-
doing this while we're traveling? Or
Oh no, we're like
It's
this
still
is
storming
literally
outside.
Yeah,
the
it's
storm is
still
still
storming.
outside.
Okay.
We just finished with the Owlbears and went immediately back to this.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys woke up to us sparring and we were all like, whoa, what's going on? And then Owlbear showed up. So,
Okay. Okay, good enough.
So
Got the setting.
is all of your society like as
I'll make the fire a little bit bigger just to
interested
get some
in
detail.
dwarven culture and the dwarven empire as you are?
I can't speak for the other tribes, but I would say at least my tribe, yes.
And I get the sense that you don't really acknowledge the empire as any entity to which you owe allegiance.
Correct.
Interesting.
Where are you from? You don't have to say like specifically, but like what direction of the world?
Northeast, yeah? Or
Yeah.
northwest.
Northwest.
Northwest. Far northwest of here. The mountain range known as the Reaches.
Have I ever heard of
I'm
the
from-
Reaches?
Specifically, my hometown is called Glossop.
Make a history check.
Oh, goodness.
Why
are you being fancy?
You know what? Make it with advantage
Alex.
because you were being groomed for being the trade czar.
10.
Rings a bell, but you're not really. I mean, your training was more with seafaring trade, not so much the overland stuff.
So it's beyond the Darvum Swamp? I didn't think there was anything past the Darvum Swamp.
The further west you go, the colder it gets and the less likely your people are to travel there.
Right. During my studies, as far as I was aware, politically, I don't think there was anything past the Darvel Swamp.
I'm sure that your kingdom doesn't consider us much of a threat or a power in and of itself. So it wouldn't surprise me that they just ignored our existence.
Yeah, if they considered you a bit of a threat, they probably would have killed you.
Or tried to, at least.
Well, to be fair, there's not a lot of travel that goes through the Darvel Swamp.
No, but I get the sinking suspicion that anything that the Empress deems dangerous or a threat to the Empire is very quickly dispatched.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, that's your mother.
That's my mom.
Sounds right.
That's right.
My name is Derek.
With a K?
We can stay in.
What? That's a legitimate question.
I thought we were done with people who had different names than the actual names they used. I thought we'd finished with that.
I'm still waiting for the cabbage reveal.
That would make sense.
I still don't know what I'm going by 90% of the time.
You are an actual dwarf though, right?
As opposed to...
We've had a lot of
Let
people
me break
that can,
this down for you.
There, we have seen a lot of people who can, and I will use disguise self to change it back to Milo, who can change appearance.
I
like
don't
I
have
can.
any magic, no.
I guess I'll
Are
stay
you
with
sure?
the
'Cause I
Milo
didn't think I did.
for a
either.
while.
I do not have any magic.
That was
Have I
another
used
time
detect
that I
magic
really
on his
liked
shadows?
alcohol.
I don't know that you have.
Sorry, what?
I couldn't remember if we'd used detect magic on your shadows
Oh, I
yet.
don't think you have, no.
I'm pretty sure you have magic.
Nope.
Pop one of your shadows in. Detect magic.
Is it a magical effect?
I don't believe so. At least in the book it's
It
not written. as
Doesn't
such.
say.
Okay.
In the book, it's considered you
It's
pull
a
a different alternated universe of yourself to fight alongside you.
So I will let you, Keith, determine whether or not this classifies as magic or not.
Or a different kind of magic besides arcane. because there's also celestial and nature magic as well.
Or some weird school of magic. I'm just curious, like,
I mean,
does
technically
this
it's
qualify?
dunamancy, and
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
where
You
it comes
probably would
from,
never have
but
seen dunamancy.
Oh, I'm
so.
sure I won't recognize what it is. I'm just curious to, like, is this
Does it register
magic?
as magic?
It's not anything you're familiar with, but it is definitely a manipulation of the weave.
That is 100% magic.
Nope.
I promise.
It's
And
not
then-
magic. It is a hereditary trait amongst my people.
He has magic wings that are also a hereditary trait among his people.
Yes.
Still counts as magic.
Agree to disagree.
Still trying to figure that one out as well, so...
It is magic I have never seen before. But it definitely stinks of magic.
Oh, Mal would never have seen what Milo looks like.
Oh, that's true. No, because Inger filled him in.
Yeah,
Ah,
On
right,
everything.
okay.
and also he saw your red hair at the bar.
Did he?
Although
Yeah.
the
Oh,
filling you
right.
in might have been a really terrible crayon drawing.
Yeah, that stick figure.
Yeah, but I look like
So I will give
Milo
you,
at
it
the
is
moment I'm using
magic.
disguise self to cancel
It is
out.
magic of the likes I have never seen. But when I use magic to detect other kinds of magic, that shows up as magic.
But of a different kind, of course, right?
I've never seen magic like that. That is something I have, but it pops up as magic.
I will trust to your expertise.
Well, what this means, I'm gonna look over at Akarai, is when you're around people like our friend here, who are not our friend, you don't want to use it around them.
You're not.
He's fine.
He is our friend, but his
But perhaps I would be better at explaining
or
it.
the organization he worked
It's associated
Still
with...
trying to figure that out.
was or is associated with Hunt's magic users.
So
And
to you, does this register as magic?
I have personally quite an open mind about things. There are others in my organization who would most assuredly decry that as magic and have you arrested.
I suppose
Would-
that's the important.
would they be able to
delineation.
detect it with the techniques your people use? I don't know if those are the same as what I use.
Quite possibly they are, in which case, yes.
But I don't think a lot of...
They don't do it personally, you understand. They have devices to...
Also, I don't think if they do see one... We know about the devices.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we do.
I think that is news to most of us.
No, that was... we were told about that by Sionis. And then we asked Akarai, and he described it and gave you a drawing.
I was not present for this conversation.
No, this was when you were interrogating him.
I
No?
don't remember.
When
this
I
at all.
tried to find out how, because I tried to get him to tell me how they track magic, and he said he
Right.
wouldn't tell me because he had
okay.
promised not to. Really? Hang on. Just give me a... Hang on. And Killian is going to start pulling out the pieces of his sand table.
What are you doing?
Just hang
How
on.
are you...
Hang
How are
on.
you carrying that around still?
The bag.
The giant
Bag.
magic
no, I
bag of
understand
stuff.
that, but... You know...
Because I hope one day to be able to rebuild it. So I'm gonna get out all the various pieces and get the important bits that actually are how it functions. Wait, so does it look anything like this?
No.
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 Nothing like this.
No.
What I know...
No.
Oh.
Huh. Huh.
Interesting.
What I've used is a small box, a wooden box. It has sort of a hinged lid that opens up, and on the inside there are
It's a compass?
there are crystals that light up different colors, and there are certain knobs and he's describing a tricorder. and you can manipulate it to determine if there is a magical field around the person or device that you are testing.
I don't suppose you have one of these with you.
Unfortunately, I do not. Those are closely guarded, and when I left the capital, I was, shall we say, on unofficial business.
Yeah. Killian's gonna start packing up his sand table.
You are unofficial business.
Mm. he didn't know she was there.
I was not a part of that plan.
Anyway, so that's
Matt,
don't use it around Empire people.
Wait, though. You said around a person. This is something hereditary. Does that mean that even without using it, I show up?
That's actually
Is he showing up as magic to my detect magic?
No.
No. It's only when you're actively using it. It shows up as magic, not you.
Interesting. That could be a potential advantage.
Isn't that's the way
But a
it's
good thing
worked
to
for
know
most
so that you
magic?
don't
Yeah,
accidentally
that's actually the way it works
disadvantage.
for most magic.
Right, but
I
mine
mean-
can move. What
I
I'm
mean-
saying is that could be potentially advantageous.
Milo gives off a low level of magic
Right, but
all the
he's got a
time, but
magic
he's got a thing going all the
Well,
time.
I mean,
anyway.
moving stuff.
Like, I need someone to not know that it's me doing magic.
Oh yeah, no, like that's not. Oh right, you haven't seen.
What?
seen what?
I think I still have the badger in my bag. Yep.
For the
no.
love, for the love that is all holy, Killian, do not let that thing out.
Just don't turn it on.
I have magic that can move on its own as well.
I mean,
He's
Sorry,
seen the
sorry.
hummingbird.
Oh,
speaking of which,
Have we
this
heard back?
storm, I mean, Volk will be fine, but you're a bird.
oh, it'll be fine.
Alright.
Yes. So, in the Empire, we don't take too kindly to magic.
Why?
Well, for a long time, I was always taught that magic was bad, but for the last couple of months, I've discovered that it's because, most likely, my mother doesn't want any competition,
It's control.
control, and stuff like that. If someone has immense amounts of powerful magic, they might be able to stop whatever siphoning that she does to the elemental shard.
Whole cloisters of
The
us
piece
dedicated
of-
to.
Yes, the
Creation.
right, the one that I'm tied to. Most likely, she has established becoming
Nothing.
becoming a god in the sense of most of the people, to ensure that no religion, no magic, no nature or anything like that occurs, to stop the reign of the Empire. So the what is the cloister called again? The
Impelian Order?
The Appellian Order.
the Impelian Order basically hunts down magic users, so then the Empress remains untouchable.
Magic can allow a small group of people to take on much larger threats. So,
Not saying that there's not magic users at all. We've
I
met
mean,
quite a few.
their whole
Sionis,
town.
some of the individuals that travel with Fabricia.
most everyone here.
Most everyone in the valley has magic, but it's far,
Everyone
far,
here.
far from the heart of.
Oh yeah.
Except
Oh,
for Cabbage.
maybe. No, Cabbage.
No,
does
because
too.
monk stuff counts.
And I have stuff anyway. So. Oh, Akrai, yeah.
But
Yeah, so
it's
everyone here.
quite far from the heart of the Empire, which is Costis. So it's much easier for people with magic to use it here, but in front of Imperial guards and nobles, And if you go probably anywhere out to the side of the valley, you will probably be accosted, hung without a trial. Is
Again, your society is as backwards
Oh,
as
no,
I
the
speak of
Empire is
society.
a
speaking
terrible,
of your
terrible
then
place.
speaking of your society, is magic well versed in where you're from?
Not really. I mean, it's not unheard of, but it's fairly rare.
I don't know anyone personally who can use magic. I'm sure that maybe some of the other larger tribes, but
I mean, also, if he's not counting that as magic.
Then who knows what
Nah.
No. Not really
others
sure.
others could not be calling magic as well, but also have some sort of magical ability.
I suppose.
Damn the autocorrect gnome, huh, Griff?
Yep, Magic the Gathering.
MYB.
It was MYG,
Oh.
but MYG? I'm like, what?
What is that?
Magic you're gathering.
Yeah.
Oh, magic you're gathering.
I'll gather your magic.
Huh. Yeah, okay.
That's a word for it. Yes.
This has been a very educational morning.
And you're not wrong. Our society is super.
Oh, no,
broken.
the Empire is so absolutely screwed up.
We would like to fix this. It's not okay.
Some of you read what was inside the box, yeah?
You're referring to
Yeah, I
the
don't
prof.
remember.
Which part? The one referring to
The name.
Sure.
The name.
Iron Fist.
Sure.
Do I remember
That is
term?
my surname.
Oh, yeah, and you
Wait.
put that in the thing,
Ah.
and I didn't make the connection. Mhm.
Ah,
Does that mean you're from the royal line of?
No.
no.
Oh, right. The
Royal Guard.
Royal Guard, of course. So
Derek
they.
Iron Fist. Since
Wait.
you're all worried about names.
So, your aunt was
The last
had
one,
the box,
but
and then
sent it
instead
to.
of giving it to you, Draxus was the next to get it.
Yes. Her help was failing at the end. Perhaps, and he was much closer than I was.
Oh,
Closer
Oh,
to
okay.
the location.
Inside the Empire as opposed to...
Right.
so your
Leashes.
aunt was not living with you.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
makes sense then.
So you're basically here to fulfill your.
No,
Duty
I
is a-
I was forthright when I said my goal is to first become a hero, and second to make the best alcohol that has ever been made. And you can see that as he's like leaning into this, his demeanor changes a little bit, and he is definitely more like himself than he has been in the last couple of days. That is who I am and who I will be.
So do you want us to call you Derek
No.
or Mal?
Mal, please.
Cool.
Then I don't have to change anything.
So that's 3 of us who have names that weren't really their own name they were going by. 4, sort of, I guess.
5, because we don't know Castian's past.
Yeah, but he hasn't yet told us that his name isn't Castian.
Fair enough.
Who? Oh, you.
Of course, me.
I have like 84 names. I
She's like the sort of. She does not go. She did not choose to go by not her own name.
Right.
but it's been what I've gone by for so long that I kind of forget. Maybe I shouldn't answer to it.
Then
Shouldn't.
And then Alma had.
Well, Alma had so many names. As many as pieces of clothing, as far as I
I'm sad I did not. Alex! I'm sad I could not have met him.
Goodies, buddy.
No, bud.
Eat
know. Well, Alma was a good friend, a bit of a handful, but a good friend nonetheless.
I cry, I get cake.
This doesn't work for me anymore. I cry and people, ow! And
Bite
people
you.
laugh.
You cry and people bite you. So
Well, it depends on the
Not
size.
always
of
in that
the,
order.
It depends on the size of the cake.
So what's
as
the
well.
status of that storm there, Keith?
I mean, it's still going.
Like, as in heavy, we won't be able to
Yeah,
converse.
pretty
Okay.
heavy.
Yeah, looks
Well,
like it'll be
looks like everybody gets comfy. We're not going anywhere.
all right.
But yeah, there are several different things that apparently
Would
I
you
answer to.
prefer I call you something other than Simi?
That's your choice, not mine. Don't look at me.
I'm gonna have Mizuki finish off the rest of the mass
Well-
scales that I need.
My mother and my brother call me May, which I guess is, or called in Adrian's case.
And may I? What would you prefer? angry inspiration.
Well, now that I know that the thing that I had been called for the majority of my time in the cloister is a derogatory slur,
Simi is a slur.
It's what?
Simialishi, yeah, it's. I didn't realize that was a. But
Do you want to explain that, or do you want me to?
maybe you take it away.
I'm gonna look out at the storm.
Uh huh.
All right. Well,
It's
since,
not like we're pressed.
as to say, since we're gonna be here for a while,
Exposition.
in Elven society,
Which none of you are.
I'm
No.
not, of course.
I'm gonna pull
How long
my
does
my
this
hair
guy
back so
sell
that you
for?
can
How
see his
long
ear.
do I have
It's
to keep up this voice?
sort of half.
Hmm?
I'm just
Oh.
reminding myself how long this guy's stuff
I
lasts,
can
depending
see
on how
why
long I
there
have to
might
do
be
this
a word
voice.
in Elven for that.
No, not
It's
for
an hour.
this.
I've still got to.
But so in Elvish society, you have two names. You have a name that you use with not family,
Right,
or
like
close
normal
relatives.
folks and stuff like that.
So May.
and then you have a name that you only use with your.
Oh, so that's May because it was your brother and your mother.
No.
called-
Okay. So elves have a kin name and a kith name.
Okay.
One is for use with people who are not to be trusted. The other is for use privately among your people, the ones you trust, your family, other elves.
Sort of like how most humans do nicknames. It's more endearing for those that are close to you. But I understandably
It
not
is not
different.
It is not to be more endearing. It is because in elven society, if you're not an elf, you can't be fully trusted. You're a stranger. You're not family.
Right.
So,
I could see that.
Simi Yalishi means no name. It is derogatory because it is saying that you are not worth having any name at all. No kid, you have no family that can be relied upon. You have no one you can trust. You don't deserve to have a name. It's like referring to someone constantly as no one. Oh, hey, nobody. Glad to see you made it.
Then why have you been?
How did I get here?
Then why have you been referring to Simi
Long
as
story.
such? If it's such a terrible name to use.
Because that is the name she has been going by. She did not know for most of her life. She found out when I first met her and realized what it was.
Make an insight check.
Oh, that's real
Oh,
good.
boy.
That's real high. That's gonna be a 24.
Akurai's sitting over there, and his face has just gone pale.
As in, he didn't know.
He didn't know that.
Oh.
So, most people, if you're not elven, don't know what that is. But so that is why going by that name,
Would be offensive, but you didn't know.
right?
is where the context was different for you, do you want to see me because that's what you know, or would you prefer something that doesn't bear that taint amongst certain peoples?
I find that that's actually a strangely difficult question for me to answer.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to change who you are. It was difficult to adapt to calling myself Mal.
It can be hard to do, yes.
I've kind of gotten accustomed to it from my mother.
Half the group is like, yeah, no, we know, man.
It's even harder when you take the name of your good lover.
Oh, right.
This
Some
is a very
ways,
interesting campfire.
I know, right?
Well,
You can kind of take it back at a certain point and own it as a different thing.
Your name bears significance to you as well, not only to those who perceive you, but it is and can be who you are. Mal is who I became, and it is someone that I hope to shed someday.
I have a kin name now, but that's not something.
Excuse me, what?
Did you not know that?
No!
Alba did.
Congratulations. Where did you get one?
From your grandfather,
Grandmother.
grandmother. Sorry.
Mhm.
I assumed
Huh.
that you had been filled in on that. Sorry.
Well, so first of all, my grandmother and I don't have a lot of opportunity to talk, given events of the last few months.
I mean, I've not had that many more opportunities than you have.
You've had at least one more.
Apparently.
Well, he was
Also,
there too, just
Yeah.
not in that
Yeah,
particular
just not that
conversation.
also, that's not the sort of thing that she would tell me unless you told her to.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mind you knowing. I'd have to look it back up again. I don't mind you knowing. Is it appropriate for me to say it?
Only if you feel it's appropriate for all of them to know. I can tell you my grandfather would have a small conniption fit because they're not elves. But
Unless that's what you want to go by, I see no reason that we should need to know.
That's yeah. We'll keep it quiet. I'll tell you at some point. But yeah, I have a kid name now, and my mom and my brother-in-law.
sure, we'll refer it as that. It didn't get that far, but sure.
I feel like it would have.
well, yeah.
So
I only vaguely understand, but
you had gotten rather in the habit of calling me May until we went out and have been out for a long time.
Hi.
I mean, you did it several times on stream. But.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, Brayden.
So I honestly don't know that I have a preference. I know that doesn't make it easy for everybody else.
I think you should decide. Make it a preference. Not a preference, but make a decision, and then we can abide by your decision. As a show of respect.
Fair enough. I'll think on it. I don't have an answer right away, but I'll think on it.
Interestingly, in Dwarven we have something that is similar. Typically it's, and no offense intended, but half-breeds. Those who have mated with a dwarf and produced an offspring, which doesn't happen often. Usually the children are not viable and don't live to birth. Donkey or mule. Yay, second edition.
You monster. Way to drag that back up.
Doesn't happen often, but in common they would be called a mule or a donkey.
Yeah, no, half elves are just expected to
be normal elves, for better or for worse.
You sound like you're not a fan.
My grandfather spent so long grooming me to be his protege in elven culture, and good lord, there's a lot of things that he tried to get you to learn about how you're supposed to do things with them, and you got it. I have never put any of it to use. So,
Fair enough.
he was very, very big on the way our traditions were. And I never actually wound up making use of any of it, so it was a whole lot of stuff I learned for basically no reason.
Is there a place that, maybe more accurately, your grandfather's people or your people, is there somewhere that they live? Where they are predominant?
Not outside the valley. Outside the valley, elves are nomadic. They are gypsies.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Not in actually, it's kind of weird that there's as many elves that live here as they do. Elves in most places, according to the ones I've talked to anyway, they are wanderers. Their communities travel from place to place. They don't stay anywhere too long.
Like grifters or like
I'm sure some are. But yeah, like nomad bands, and so, you know, they might spend a year or two in one location, but eventually they'll pack up and move on. That's why the difference between outsiders and other elves is such a big thing for them, because you travel place to place, you're never in one place for all that long, so the only...
family is the ones who are with you.
Well, not just that, but like the only people that are your people are other elves. So anyone else you're dealing with is inherently an outsider.
Interesting.
Which is how I ended up dumped on the front porch, I gather, of the cloister in Costas. Dumped is a strong word.
Who gave you that name then?
Oh, that would have been the person overseeing all of my training at the
Master
Cloister.
Akarai then.
No,
That
Master Akarai's
Oh,
Right, I was referring to the senior.
That would have been my stepfather.
father.
Interesting.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up old wounds. I was just curious.
is he still like super awkward about the...
Now that attention is on him.
There's still some of that awkwardness, and with that exchange, it's kind of going into more of the anger side of things as well.
Good.
Excellent.
I'm gonna take it you don't speak Elvish.
Nope.
Neither do I, so that makes a
I have to
couple of
admit, I
us.
don't think anyone I knew did.
Well, nomadic tribes and whatnot. There's not much of a reason, I guess, to speak it unless you are in it.
Interesting, the contrast. My people don't move. When your family grows past its bounds, another house is made, and you live there as long as you live.
Have Ingir roll an insight check.
Oh, great, the Owlbears are back.
Yeah!
Kill them. Back.
Well, and I mean,
No.
I don't know that all elves live that way. I mean, clearly my family did not. There's no
5
places
plus
that
whatever.
it is common that they settle, though.
Hmm.
The ones who settled down, like my family did, are sort of the outliers.
And then there's the dwarves in town that have sort of their quarter, but
It was kind of nice to feel like I was a part of something, kind of.
I mean, you know Elvish well enough now that if you run into any elves, you can start talking to them, and assuming that my grandfather's idea of how elf society works is accurate, they'll treat you like family. For better or for worse.
And you can always choose another name, of course.
That might be what I do, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on it some. For right now, Senior May would be fine, but
Stella. Go with Stella.
Stella.
That was the name that Alma used when he was in the cloister.
Yeah, or I could,
Stella Virgin.
I could continue to propagate the cult of Carlisle.
Oh, there you go.
Go as Carlisle.
There you go.
Just to see how.
You're right over there?
Maybe he's feeling a little guilty for not knowing.
I'm just trying to decide if I want to do what's in my brain to do right now. And this is the DM talking, not
I was gonna say,
not
kisser,
Ackroyd.
kisser.
That's probably a bad idea.
Keith, I think we're nearing the end of the night.
We are, so...
So just do it. Just do it.
Okay.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh,
The boy dies.
Oh no.
oh.
I'm scared now.
Um,
Oh, baby, you're tired.
as the whole conversation has been going on, and as Ackroyd over in his little spot has been getting more and more distraught, and then more and more emotional, Ingir kind of turns and faces him and stares him down with his beady little eyes. And at first, Ackroyd doesn't recognize it. He doesn't really get a sense of it. But then he does, and he sort of looks, and he starts sort of staring back.
What's going on?
And everyone gets quiet.
And then after a couple of minutes, Ingir sort of shakes his head, and he turns around, and he plants his gaze on Simi.
Oh no, what is this?
And it's directed at Simi, but he hasn't closed down broadcast, so
It
all you guys
spreads.
are getting this. And you actually remember what he is now pulling out and is throwing out there. Because you were there.
I was there for what?
So
Oh dear.
what you're getting is gnats in your face. Sorry, no. So what you're getting is a vision, a memory. And it is, for you, it is a very familiar setting. It is the Imperial Throne Room.
Right.
And you are standing on, you're like one step down and 3 steps over because you are the youngest of the 3 princes. But you're there, Davram is there, who you guys do not recognize. Lars is there at the far end. So you kind of get a sense that, okay, all 3 of these were the crown princes. There is this very regal woman sitting atop her throne, the Empress, may she live forever.
Which it looks a lot like Imus.
Looks a lot like Imus.
It's not disconcerting at all.
And
Yeah, they're killing me.
kneeling at the foot of the dais is Master Rosk,
Senior?
Which one?
Senior.
Okay.
And there are nobles sort of lining the hallway in attendance. So this is a formal meeting in the grand hallway, or in the grand throne room. Master Rosk, the Empress, may she live forever, says, it has come to our attention that the woman that you had burned at the stake as a witch was not, in fact, a magic user. She was blameless in all regards. And you knew when you had it done. And Rosk just sort of bows his head. Majesty, it is true. You have put us in a difficult place, Master Rosk. By all rights, I should have you beheaded for that. Majesty, it is true. How then would you have me proceed, Master Rosk? Majesty, I would humbly beg for deferred guilt. Interesting. We were not aware that such practices were still requested by our nobility. Is there any here who would stand for him and agree? And down the line, about a half a dozen or so noble men and women step out of the line and turn and bow. Very well. You must pay the fine, 1,000 platinum pieces of your own money, not from the order. Majesty, who would you name to bear your guilt? There is an initiate, Majesty, a half-blood, impure, left with the order. She will bear my guilt. It is done. And that's where we're going to leave it for the night. All right. So, a little bit roleplay heavy, but I think we've got a lot to play with. You guys need to hopefully be hooked enough, or I say you need to be. I hope that you are hooked well enough to join us again next week. Hopefully we will have everyone back at the table, and we will see where all of this leads us. Until then, remember...
Grab your bats and grab your balls. Steven's not on frame.
No, he's not. Woo! That's a button I hit. And remember, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a glass house. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.